Chapter 2529 Battling the Non-Human King. The army of the Heaven Realm moved forward, and soon passed through the passage, and entered the Hunyuan Heavenly Realm. After entering the Hunyuan Heavenly region, they realized that they had not encountered any attacks from the Evil God tribe. Originally, the Evil God tribe's army was almost concentrated in the middle camp. In the vast Hunyuan Heavenly region, there were not many Evil God tribe members. Previously, the Evil God tribe had been defeated like a landslide, and most of them had withdrawn from the Hunyuan Heavenly region. I'm finally back in the Hunyuan Heavenly Realm. How many years has it been? Some people laughed crazily. The person who laughed was a heavenly emperor. He was from the Hunyuan Heavenly Realm in the ancient times. However, he had never returned to the Hunyuan Heavenly Realm ever since it was occupied by the alien races. Now that he had returned, he was naturally excited. Let's go. Lu Ming must have gone to the passageway between the chaotic Yuan Heavenly Realm and the 10,000 Spirit Heavenly Realm. Let's go and help him. A peak Heavenly Emperor roared. Kill. The spirits of the Heaven Realm beings were high as they charged towards the passageway between the Heaven Realm and 10,000 Spirit Realm. At this moment, Lu Ming had indeed reached the passageway between the chaotic Yuan Heavenly Realm and the 10,000 Spirit Heavenly Realm. There were indeed many members of the Evil God tribe gathered in this passageway. However, when Lu Ming arrived, they were still no match for him. They were defeated and retreated to the next heaven domain, the 9 Nether Heaven domain. Through the passage, Lu Ming arrived at the 10,000 Spirit Realm. Lu Ming felt a little emotional. Back then, he came to the 10,000 Spirit Realm by accident and met Rin Chan and the others. He also got to know the immemorial body cultivators and obtained the cultivation method of the 7 gods' mysterious technique. Let's go and take a look. Lu Ming did not pursue the Evil God tribe immediately. Instead, he took a step forward and headed toward the most forbidden area in the 10,000 Spirit Heavenly Domain, the Land of Dusk. Back then, the Archean body cultivators lived in the depths of the Land of Dusk, and the small world of Rin Chan and the others was also at the edge of the Land of Dusk. Very soon, Lu Ming arrived at the Land of Dusk, the small world where Rin Chan used to live. The small world had completely collapsed and turned into nothingness. Needless to say, the remaining people in the small world of Rin Chan and the others were probably dead. After that, Lu Ming went to the depths of the Land of Dusk. This hell had also been blown up. It was in tatters and empty. This made the viciousness in Lu Ming's eyes intensify. Evil God tribe, it's best if some stronger experts come, Lu Ming muttered. An opponent at the peak of the Heavenly Emperor level was not challenging to him at all. It could not be used to hone his skills. Lu Ming's figure had already disappeared. Not long after, Lu Ming arrived at the passageway between the 10,000 Spirit Heavenly Domain and the Abysmal Heavenly Domain. There weren't many obstructions here, and there was almost no Evil God tribe. Clearly, the Evil God tribe had already retreated. Lu Ming entered the Netherworld Realm and headed toward the passageway there. The passageway of the Netherworld Realm was connected to the Beast God Realm. In this passageway, Lu Ming finally saw the densely packed Evil God tribe. Countless members of the Evil God race had set up formations and defensive systems here. The entire passageway was covered in a pitch-black light barrier. Buzz! Lu Ming did not hesitate. He shook the Great Desolation Spear and whipped it down. The Great Desolation Spear expanded rapidly, reaching a length of 1,000,000 miles as it lashed out at the Evil God tribe's formation. But this time around, before the Great Desolation Spear could land, an axe radiance slashed out from the Evil God tribe's army. This axe light was also extremely terrifying and split the entire sky in half. In the eyes of ordinary people, this was completely like the creation of the world. Boom! The Great Desolation Spear and the axe radiance collided with each other. The void within a radius of millions of miles exploded and turned into nothingness. Following that, a terrifying aura burst forth from the Evil God tribe's army. A figure stepped out into the air and arrived high up in the sky. This figure had purple hair and was not much different from a human. His 3 eyes were opened and revealed a cold luster. On his head, he was wearing a crown. A king of a non-human race? The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. It seemed that demigod-level existences from the Evil God tribe had finally arrived. As far as he knew, the kings of the 10 royal clans of the non-human race were all existences that surpassed peak heavenly emperors. They were all unrivaled figures at the demigod level. The non-human king's aura was terrifying and overbearing. He was much stronger than a peak-stage heavenly emperor. It was obvious that the outsiders had already sent the news back, so a king of the outsiders had come. Lu Ming, you killed 3 peak heavenly emperors of my clan. You must die today, the non-human king said coldly, his killing intent extremely thick. Cut the crap. If you want to kill me, let's see if you have the ability. Lu Ming sneered. The great desolation spear buzzed and vibrated. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with a strong fighting spirit. This was the first time he was facing a demigod. How strong were demigods? Lu Ming was filled with anticipation. Kill! The king of the non-human race carried a pitch-black battle axe. He took a step forward and appeared not far from Lu Ming. He swung the battle axe down. The non-human king's attack was extremely simple. There was nothing fancy about it. However, the power of the axe was extremely terrifying. It could break everything. It was really able to break through everything. It was as if nothing in this world could stop it. Even the heavenly Tao was about to be torn apart. Come on! The fighting spirit in Lu Ming's eyes grew stronger. The qi and blood in his body churned, and the power of the world burst out. Lu Ming pushed all his strength to the limit and waved his long spear, blasting it out. Clang! The two of them clashed again, and the sky exploded with a terrifying boom. Everything within 1,000,000 miles seemed to be destroyed. Buzz! The two figures retreated 10,000 miles and stood in the void, facing each other. This time it was a draw. Is this the divine power condensed after 10,000 elements returned to one? Lu Ming muttered in a low voice. He was looking forward to it. He had heard from the ancestral dragon that demigods could combine everything into one and form a divine fire in their bodies. This divine fire was made of divine power. However, in the heaven realm, the evil god realm, this was already the limit. Only by leaving this place and going outside would one be able to become a war god. There was a huge difference between a demigod and a martial god. A demigod could only form a single divine flame, and the divine power contained in a single divine flame was extremely limited. The martial god, on the other hand, was filled with divine power. He was many times more powerful than he was before. However, the power of divine power was beyond the heavenly path. It was too shocking. Even the divine power contained in a divine fire was enough to be invincible. Without the martial god, who could compete with him? He was known as an invincible powerhouse. At this moment, countless members of the evil god race were stunned. Lu Ming was actually able to fight against a king. Lu Ming's strength was too terrifying. Let's see how many moves you can block. Kill! The king of the non-human race wielded his battle axe and charged at Lu Ming. His body and the battle axe were both covered in a thin layer of divine power, which was extremely powerful. Fight! Lu Ming held his long spear and charged over. This was the feeling he wanted. The king of the outsiders could finally give him some pressure. Chapter 2531 against 2 Lu Ming and the king of the non-human race engaged in an intense battle. At times they fought in the sky, and at other times they fought in the depths of the void. When existences at their level attacked with all their might, they could really destroy the world. If they fought on the ground, an entire heavenly region would be destroyed by them. A small continent, like the divine wilderness continent, could probably be reduced to ashes with a single move. Soon, the two of them had exchanged hundreds of moves. King of the outsiders, is this all you have? How disappointing. Lu Ming's expression turned indifferent. His fighting spirit and combat strength grew stronger and stronger, and he began to suppress the king of the non-human race. How is that possible? The non-human king was extremely shocked. He could clearly sense that Lu Ming had yet to step into demigod level, as he had yet to produce divine power. His cultivation level was lower than his, but his combat strength was stronger than his. He was actually slowly suppressing him. This was too terrifying. The non-human king growled and activated the divine power in his body to the maximum. Unfortunately, he was still no match for Lu Ming. It was as if Lu Ming's casual spear attack could explode with shocking power and terrifying combat strength. He was forced to retreat. The battle symbol art is indeed powerful, Lu Ming muttered. At this moment, he had activated the battle formula to the extreme. He had reached his current limit. The more he fought, the stronger he became. He had already gained the upper hand. How is that possible? How is this possible? Countless non-humans muttered to themselves, finding it hard to accept this. In their hearts, the king of the non-human race was an invincible existence, a symbol of invincibility. But now, he was going to be defeated, and he was defeated by a young man from the heaven realm. Bang! After a few more moves, the non-human king was swept by Lu Ming's spear radiance, and his body flew out horizontally. A bloody wound appeared on his body and blood flowed out. "It seems that you can't kill me today," Lu Ming said disdainfully, and continued to attack the other party. The alien king let out a long roar and fought Lu Ming with all his might. Unfortunately, after more than 10 moves, he was sent flying by Lu Ming and spat out a mouthful of blood. Once he was at a disadvantage and was injured by Lu Ming, his combat strength would be weakened, and he would not be Lu Ming's match. How did this happen? The faces of countless members of the evil god race turned pale. What to do? Even a king was not Lu Ming's match. Should they retreat? Otherwise, when the king of the outsiders was defeated, they would be the ones to die. At this moment, space cracked open and another figure appeared. This figure was also wearing a crown and had a shocking aura. Another king of the outsiders had arrived. Kill! The non-human king descended and charged at Lu Ming. Good. The fighting spirit in Lu Ming's eyes grew stronger as he fought with this non-human king. The non-human king from before had also returned. 2 non-human kings were fighting Lu Ming. The 2 non-human kings working together were too terrifying. In this world, who could defeat them except for the martial god realm? Legend had it that the peerless Chaos Supreme Emperor and the undying Supreme Emperor had been besieged by 2 kings of the non-human race and eventually died. Lu Ming was at a disadvantage as he was surrounded by 2 kings. For a moment, Lu Ming could only retaliate but not counterattack. Yes, that's it. Lu Ming was not afraid. Instead, he was even more surprised. Lu Ming felt an immense pressure as he was surrounded by 2 non-human kings. Under this pressure, his understanding of the battle character formula was rapidly improving. A slow comprehension was not as fast as a crisis. Buzz! Whoosh! Lu Ming brandished his spear and unleashed all his strength. His entire body was covered in the purple gold dominator's power. He continued to activate the battle symbol art as he fought the 2 kings. Although the 2 kings had the upper hand, Lu Ming was as steady as a rock. The Great Desolation spear danced in an airtight manner. They could not break through Lu Ming's defense in a short time. How is that possible? This brat is even more difficult to deal with than the Primal Chaos Emperor and the Undying Emperor. A non-human king thought in shock. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged 100 moves. Lu Ming was still steadily blocking their attacks. At this moment, the army of the Heaven Realm had finally arrived in the direction of the abysmal heavenly domain. They were densely packed and surging toward this side. However, they stopped when they were far away. The battle between Lu Ming and the 2 foreign tribe kings was too terrifying. The void was filled with destructive storms, and they did not dare to get close. Heavens, is that the king of the outsiders? Yes, 2 alien kings. Lu Ming is fighting 2 alien kings. Some of the Heaven Realm's experts were watching from afar. When they saw the people in the battle, they were stunned. The army of the Heavenly Realm was in an uproar. Lu Ming was actually fighting 2 kings of the non-human race. During this period of time, they had refreshed their understanding of Lu Ming. In the beginning, many people had speculated that Lu Ming had the strength of a peak heavenly emperor. However, they now realized that it was far from the case. Not only did Lu Ming have the strength of an invincible master, but he could also fight against 2 alien kings. How many people in this world could fight 2 non-human kings alone? This is bad. Lu Ming is at a disadvantage. If this goes on, will he be defeated? It's hard to say, but we've already reported to the invincible masters of our Heaven Realm. Soon, our invincible masters will arrive. Some people in the Heaven Realm were discussing in low voices. At this moment, a sudden change occurred. A part of the void suddenly split open, and a terrifying sword light slashed towards Lu Ming. The power of this sword light was shockingly strong. Without a doubt, another demigod-level existence had made a move. Lu Ming was shocked. He waved the Great Desolation spear at high speed and covered his body with a layer of defense. However, in the face of this sudden attack and the attacks of the other 2 non-human kings, Lu Ming was still struggling. Clang! The sword hit Lu Ming's long spear. Lu Ming was sent flying, and he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. Not good. The Heaven Realm powerhouse's expressions changed. Sela. The space cracked open, and a figure walked out. Without a doubt, it was another alien king. The three non-human kings descended and surrounded Lu Ming. This person must be eliminated, the first non-human king said. He was too shocked and even a little frightened. If Lu Ming was allowed to continue growing, he did not know how far he would go. Let's join hands, another non-human king said. Ha ha ha, three kings of the non-human race actually want to join forces to deal with a junior of our heaven realm. Are you not afraid of being laughed at by the world? A sneer was heard, and a figure suddenly appeared in front of the heavenly realm army. This person's body was filled with endless lightning, as if he was the embodiment of lightning. Heavenly Thunder Emperor. Heavenly Thunder Emperor is here. The beings of the heavenly realm were overjoyed. Heavenly Lightning. The eyes of the three non-human kings narrowed. If you guys want to fight, I'll accompany you, the Heavenly Thunder Emperor said. He then turned into a bolt of lightning and charged toward a non-human king. The two of them began an intense battle. Chapter 2530 Gun Challenge Boom. Boom. Suddenly, a violent boom came from a dark void. Then, the space exploded and two figures rushed out. They exchanged a few moves and then retreated. Another two invincible figures. One of them was also a non-human king, and the other was a brawny figure in armor. It's Heavenly Tiger Emperor. Someone recognized the burly figure in battle armor. Heavenly Tiger Imperial Master, the king of the Heavenly Tiger race, was also the strongest existence in the Heavenly Tiger race. He had a cultivation of the demigod realm. The Heavenly Thunder Emperor and the non-human king exchanged more than 10 moves, and it was difficult to determine the winner. They both retreated. In the Heaven Realm, Lu Ming, Heavenly Thunder Emperor, and Heavenly Tiger Emperor were in a stalemate with the four kings of the alien race. In the sky, a terrifying pressure spread. Detestable. The non-human king who had fought with Lu Ming earlier growled unwillingly. They knew that the invincible masters of the Heaven Realm had begun to act. Even if they could call for more non-human kings, the invincible powerhouses from the Heaven Realm would arrive. This time, they could not kill Lu Ming. The non-human kings didn't move, and neither did Supreme Emperor Sky Thunder and the others. Both sides were wary of each other, and they did not have absolute confidence in defeating the other. Carve the formation and defend this place. Let's see who can rush over. In the end, the four non-human kings retreated back into the non-human army. They personally took charge of this place and ordered the others to strengthen the formation. Lu Ming and the rest did not give chase. Retreat 1,000,000 li, build an army camp, and surround this place. Heavenly Thunder Emperor also ordered the army of the Heaven Realm. Yes, the army of the Heavenly Realm received the order and retreated 1,000,000 miles. They began to build barracks and surround this place. The two sides were in a confrontation again. Lu Ming did not return. He retreated to a mountain peak not far away from the Heaven Realm army and sat cross-legged, beginning to comprehend and digest what he had gained from the battle just now. The news of this battle spread like wildfire in the Tai Ching Heavenly region. At this moment, the Tai Ching Heavenly region was in an uproar, as if it had experienced a magnitude 12 earthquake. Lu Ming had destroyed the alien camp outside Two World City and killed 3 peak heavenly emperors of the alien race. Lu Ming killed his way through. He killed his way into the Hunyuan Heavenly Realm, the 10,000 Spirit Heavenly Realm, and the Abysmal Heavenly Realm. He broke through 3 heavenly realms in a row. Lu Ming was at the passageway between the Netherworld Realm and the Beast God Realm. He fought with a king of the alien race and injured him. Lu Ming was not defeated by the 2 kings of the alien race. The news set off a storm in the Tai Ching Heavenly region and shocked countless people. When many people heard this news, their first reaction was disbelief. However, when they sent people to Two World City to investigate and confirm the news, they were stunned. All of this was real. Now, countless people from the Tai Ching Heavenly region had entered the Hunyuan Heavenly region, the 10,000 Spirit Heavenly region, and the 9 Nether Heavenly region. Heavens! Many people sighed. This was too crazy. Everyone knew that they had underestimated Lu Ming. Lu Ming was almost invincible now. Lu Ming, Lu Ming, Lu Ming. Every corner and every force in the Tai Ching Heavenly region was talking about this name. Lu Ming's reputation had reached its peak. After that, all the forces began to send people to the Hunyuan, 10,000 Spirit, and 9 Serenities heavenly domains. These 3 heavenly regions had been occupied by the alien races for countless years. As for the foreign races, they cultivated differently from the beings of the heaven realm. The treasures they needed were also very different at times. There might be some treasures in these 3 heavenly regions that the alien races couldn't use, but they were very useful to the living beings in the heaven realm. Therefore, there must be many precious treasures in the 3 heavenly regions waiting for people to explore. Countless beings swarmed into the 3 heavenly regions and began to pick and excavate the treasures. At the passageway between the 2 realms, the 2 armies had been in a stalemate. Lu Ming went into closed-door cultivation. He came out after a few months. Lu Ming had gained something from the previous battle, and his understanding of the battle character formula had deepened. However, he still did not break through the bottleneck. There seemed to be a barrier that was blocking him and was difficult to break through. Lu Ming had a feeling that as long as the battle character formula broke through the bottleneck, its power would definitely increase greatly. It would allow his combat strength to enter a new realm. Not enough. We need to continue the battle, Lu Ming muttered. He then took a step forward and walked toward the alien tribe army. Lu Ming attracted the attention of countless people the moment he moved. Where is Lu Ming going? Could it be that we're going to fight the evil god tribe again? Many people were guessing and watching from afar. This was especially so for those who had arrived later. They had not seen Lu Ming in action earlier and could not help but look forward to it. Lu Ming has come to challenge you. Evil god race, who wants to come out and fight? Lu Ming held his long spear and stood in front of the alien army. Lu Ming's voice spread throughout the alien army. The non-human army fell silent. The evil god tribe is so big, yet no one dares to fight them? What a disappointment. Lu Ming said again. Detestable. Many of the evil god tribe members gritted their teeth. However, no one stepped out to fight. Lu Ming's combat strength was too terrifying. Other than the unrivaled powerhouse, everyone else had come to die. Boom, boom, boom. Terrifying auras erupted from the non-human army, and a few non-human kings stepped out with cold eyes. You finally dare to come out. Who wants to fight me? Lu Ming glanced at the few non-human kings. Such arrogance, I'll go and meet him. One of the kings roared. Be careful. Lu Ming is really very powerful. The alien king who was the first to fight with Lu Ming instructed. I will be careful. The non-human king nodded. He took a step forward and appeared not far from Lu Ming. They had no choice but to accept Lu Ming's challenge. You're alone? No, let's do another one. Lu Ming said indifferently, looking very unhappy. He was really unhappy. A non-human king wasn't much of a threat to him. Arrogant, kill. The non-human king flew into a rage at being looked down upon by Lu Ming. He charged toward Lu Ming. The heavenly Tao soldier used by this king was a long spear. The long spear pierced through the air and stabbed toward Lu Ming. Buzz! Lu Ming shook his great desolation spear and charged at the other party. Clang! 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 Whoosh! 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 The two of them continued to collide with each other, causing a deafening boom to ring out. One after another, spear radiance and spear shadows crisscrossed, piercing through the heavens and earth. It was terrifying to the extreme. Terrifying, so terrifying. This power is not something we can resist. Is this the battle strength of an unrivaled expert? It was the first time for many of the beings in the heaven realm to see the unparalleled experts fight, and they were shocked. Lu Ming and the non-human king exchanged dozens of blows. At this time, the non-human king was at a disadvantage. This time, Lu Ming did not hold back. He used his full strength. The power of his body and the Tao of domination pushed the battle formula to its limit. Chapter 2531 Ruins of End Battlefield. Lu Ming was like an invincible god of war as he charged at the non-human king. The non-human king was forced to retreat. He was accidentally hit by Lu Ming's long spear and retreated while spitting out blood. Amazing, amazing! Kill him! The heaven realm beings cried out in excitement. They hoped that Lu Ming could kill the other party. If they could kill even one of the unrivaled experts of the other party, it would be enough to make the evil god race feel the pinch. I've said it before, you can't do it alone, Lu Ming said coldly. The non-human king's face was extremely ugly. I'll go help him. Another non-human king in the army gritted his teeth. He took a step forward and charged at Lu Ming with a sword in his hand. Haha, now this is more like it. Lu Ming laughed and waved his spear, fighting the two kings. The remaining non-human kings wanted to make a move, But the Heavenly Thunder Emperor and the Heavenly Tiger Emperor had already set their eyes on each other. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming and the two non-human kings began an intense battle. Lu Ming was still at a disadvantage. He was no match for the two non-human kings. However, the situation was slightly better than the last time. Previously, Lu Ming could only defend and could not retaliate. However, this time, Lu Ming could occasionally retaliate and fight with the other party. He would probably be able to counterattack once in every 20 moves. Just like that, the two sides fought for more than 300 moves. At this moment, Lu Ming finally felt that he was no match for them. He had used up a lot of his world energy. Bang! Lu Ming rushed out of the other party's encirclement and retreated 10,000 miles. Haha, that's it for today. Let's fight another day. Lu Ming laughed and took a step forward, leaving the place. Damn it! The kings of the non-human race bellowed in anger. However, they were helpless. After exchanging so many blows, they had exhausted themselves and could not stop Lu Ming. He's using us to train himself. One of the non-human kings said coldly. With their wisdom, they naturally knew Lu Ming's plan. Lu Ming returned to the place where he went into seclusion the last time and continued to cultivate and comprehend the battle character formula. He had also gained a lot from this battle. This time, Lu Ming had been in seclusion for a year. His understanding of the battle formula had deepened. Naturally, his strength had also increased. However, he still could not break through the bottleneck of the battle formula. He was stuck there, and it made Lu Ming very uncomfortable. Lu Ming came to the front of the alien army and began to challenge the alien king. But this time, the kings didn't fight at all. They knew Lu Ming's plan. He wanted to use them to train himself. They would not fight and let Lu Ming benefit from it. Unfortunately, they had underestimated Lu Ming. Seeing that the non-human king was not coming out, Lu Ming began to curse. The more he cursed, the worse his words became. Even the ordinary evil god tribe members' eyes were burning with anger, let alone the non-human king. They wanted to come out and fight Lu Ming to the death. Damn it, I'm going to slaughter this brat. One of the non-human kings roared. He could not take it anymore and rushed out of the camp to fight Lu Ming. Lu Ming revealed a smile. He had been hanging out with Dandan for so long, so of course he had learned a lot. If you don't come out, he'll scold you until you doubt your life. Let's go out together and kill him. The other non-human kings were filled with killing intent. They went out together to kill Lu Ming. However, in the Heaven Realm, Heavenly Thunder Emperor and Heavenly Tiger Emperor had been paying attention to this side for a long time. As soon as the kings moved, they also came out and blocked two of them, only letting one pass. A total of 2 non-human kings were fighting Lu Ming. This time, it was better than a year ago. Lu Ming had improved a lot. A year ago, Lu Ming could only counterattack once every 20 moves he made when he faced 2 kings of the mutated tribe. However, this time, Lu Ming could counterattack once in every 10 moves. It was much easier to deal with him. This monster, the non-human king, was shocked. Lu Ming's improvement was too shocking. He could improve a little after every big battle. After a few hundred moves, Lu Ming felt that it was about time and retreated. Next time, I definitely can't fight. The kings of the other races looked at each other and made a decision. Lu Ming continued to cultivate in seclusion. He only came out after a year. I still haven't broken through. What's going on? This battle formula is really hard to cultivate. Lu Ming sighed. He felt that the difficulty of cultivating the battle character formula was even more difficult and profound than the path of domination. Evil God race, get out here and fight me. Lu Ming ran to the front of the evil god tribe's army and started his challenge. But the non-humankind army was silent. What's wrong? You don't dare to fight? Isn't the great evil god race high and mighty? To think that you don't even dare to fight. How embarrassing. Aren't you all very strong? You don't even dare to fight me, someone who has cultivated for hundreds of years. What a bunch of trash. If I were you, I would just destroy my own cultivation. King of the Outsiders, are you guys the reincarnation of a turtle? Lu Ming started to curse. The more he cursed, the worse his words became. However, the king of the non-human race just stayed in the military camp and did not come out to fight. Damn it! When the 2 divine ancestors recover, they'll definitely crush this Lu Ming's bones and scatter his ashes. One of the more irascible non-human kings roared. He was furious. They were the kings of the non-human race, the overlords of the evil god tribe. In the evil god tribe, they were high and mighty figures who ruled over an area. But now, in front of the countless evil god tribe troops, they were being scolded so badly by Lu Ming. The most important thing was that they could only hide and not fight. It was too depressing. Furthermore, it was a huge blow to the evil god tribe's morale. However, they had no choice but to go out and fight. Instead, they helped Lu Ming. Don't worry. It won't take long for the two divine ancestors to recover. Once they recover, Lu Ming will be nothing. The divine ancestors can suppress them with a flip of their hands. When the heaven realm is flattened and the sky is opened, we can all break through to the martial god realm and become gods. The other king was much calmer. Split open the heavens. God! The eyes of the other non-human kings all lit up. They had been stuck at the demigod realm for too long, but in the evil god realm and heaven realm, they had reached their limits and couldn't break through at all. Only by successfully splitting open the sky could they break through. Lu Ming cursed for a long time outside, but the king of the non-human race did not fight. These guys probably already know that I'm using them to train myself, so they're all hiding. Lu Ming muttered. Humph, do you think I have no way to deal with you just because you're hiding? Then I'll go to the ruins of End battlefield now. Lu Ming muttered. The battlefield of the ruins of End was another battlefield. There were two battlefields in the Tai Ching heavenly region. One of them was the battlefield in the Two-World City, which was connected to the Hunyuan heavenly region. One of the ruins of End battlefields was connected to the ancient demon territory. Sila. Lu Ming tore open the space and stepped in. Lu Ming wanted to travel through the long space and enter the battlefield of the ultimate. This kind of long-distance cross-realm travel could only be done by peak Heavenly Emperor and above. Chapter 2532 Eternal Cage. The Dark Void contained a terrifying spatial storm. However, if it was only a short distance, even great emperors could block it. However, once the distance was too long and the speed was too fast, the spatial storm would be terrifying, especially when it crossed worlds. From one world to another world, the distance was too long. Not only did he have to have a powerful force to travel through the void, but he also had to face a terrifying spatial storm. Hoo. Lu Ming shuttled through the void at an astonishing speed. He felt as if the endless void flashed past him. However, at the same time, a terrifying void storm energy formed in the void and continuously attacked him. This kind of energy could even pass through Lu Ming's body and attack his Dantian and Sea of Consciousness. It would cause a terrifying impact on the small world or the world in the mountain and river diagram. This was also why ordinary peak heavenly emperors and even invincible powerhouses could travel through the void and enter another world from one world. However, they could only move alone and couldn't bring anyone else. This was because if you brought someone else along, they would also be killed by the energy of the Netherstorm. It would be useless even if he hid it in a small world or an Eden treasure. Of course, if a martial god had a small world in his body, he could still resist. However, the ancestral dragon and the non-human divine ancestor didn't cultivate the nomological system and didn't have a small world. Therefore, when Zhu Long brought the people from the prison-guarding field to the heaven realm, it was the world formed by the prison-guarding steel that could do it. I wonder if my ruler's power can withstand the impact of the void storm. I'll give it a try. Lu Ming had an idea. He gathered the ruler's power to the periphery of the small world in his Dantian and enveloped the small world. Bang! 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 The terrifying void storm continued to bombard the ruler's power, but it didn't penetrate the small world. It's effective. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Didn't this mean that he could bring people from one world to another? Lu Ming had many thoughts in his mind. The void around them flashed continuously. Lu Ming's speed was extremely fast. After at most 1 to 2 hours, Lu Ming's eyes suddenly flickered. He swung his palm forward, and the void split open. Lu Ming walked out. What came into view was a majestic city that was not inferior to Two-World City. This was returning Bamboo City, and Lu Ming appeared on the battlefield outside the city of the ruins of End. In just an hour or two, Lu Ming had arrived at the battlefield of the ultimate from the Netherworld realm, crossing several heavenly realms. Lu Ming did not enter the city of the ruins of End. Instead, he headed toward the evil god tribe's military camp. Then, it seems to be Lu Ming. It's indeed Lu Ming. He's in Return Bamboo City. Didn't he kill his way to the abysmal heavenly region? Could it be that he is going to attack the evil god tribe's military camp? Let's go take a look. Many people in Return Bamboo City were excited to see Lu Ming. They flew out of the city wall and followed Lu Ming. Lu Ming walked in the air at an extremely fast speed. Not long after, an endless military camp appeared in front of him. This was the evil god tribe's military camp that was stationed at the entrance of the ancient demon heaven domain. Boom! Lu Ming was very direct. When he approached the enemy's military camp, he immediately pulled the trigger. An incomparably huge spear descended from the sky, blasting down toward the evil god tribe's military camp with an extremely terrifying might. Activate the formation! Activate the formation! A series of roars rang out from the evil god tribe's military camp. The entire camp was filled with a dazzling light that formed a light barrier that enveloped the entire camp. Just as Lu Ming's spear was about to strike the light shield, two shocking auras burst out from the evil god tribe's military camp. Two terrifying attacks soared into the sky and struck Lu Ming's spear. Buzz! The long spear trembled and was sent flying back. Two demigods! Lu Ming's eyes lit up. From the looks of it, the evil god tribe was well prepared. They had sent invincible figures to guard their camp, afraid that it would be the same as the last time and their camp would be broken through. Lu Ming! In the non-human camp, two loud roars were heard. Then, two figures rushed out with a terrifying aura toward Lu Ming. Good! Lu Ming was not shocked. Instead, he was overjoyed. He charged forward and fought with his opponent. Although the two non-human kings were able to suppress Lu Ming and gain the upper hand, Lu Ming was able to counterattack once every 10 moves this time. He had improved significantly. The battle between the two parties was extremely intense. After exchanging a few hundred moves, Lu Ming finally retreated. Damn it, this Lu Ming is really terrifying. He's using us to train himself. The next time he comes to challenge us, we don't have to care about him. We just have to focus on defense. All right. The two unparalleled powerful beings of the foreign races returned to the evil god tribe's military camp. Lu Ming found a secret place and went into seclusion to comprehend. After cultivating for a period of time, Lu Ming came out of seclusion. This time, he felt that the battle character formula had improved again. He was only a step away from breaking through the bottleneck. It was as if he could break through at any time, but he couldn't, as if he was lacking something. Find someone else to fight. Lu Ming went to the non-human camp for a challenge, but the unrivaled powerhouse of the non-human race refused to fight. In a fit of rage, Lu Ming attacked the non-human camp. The two unparalleled powerhouses of the non-human race joined forces and blocked Lu Ming's attack. However, they merely defended and did not take the initiative to attack. Lu Ming was so angry that he vomited blood. It was obvious that the non-human expert had seen through his intentions. Lu Ming paced in front of the alien camp for a while, but could not find a chance to fight. After that, he returned to the netherworld realm to challenge them. It was the same. The alien races did not fight. As long as they could stall for time until the non-human divine ancestor and sacred ancestor Bloodheart recovered, they would be able to fight back. You don't want to fight? Then I'll kill my way to your side. Lu Ming's eyes flickered with madness. Then he tore open the space and rushed directly towards the evil god world. The evil god world was very far from the Nine Heavens domain, but there was a void passage that connected it to the Nine Heavens domain. Of course, Lu Ming did not want to pass through this void channel. He shuttled through the void directly and rushed toward the evil god world. Not long after, when Lu Ming tore open the space again and went out, he had already arrived at the evil god realm. There are still many masters from the prison guard field and the heaven realm in the eternal cage. This time, we'll save them all. The first thing that came to Lu Ming's mind when he arrived at the evil god realm was the eternal cage. Back then, they had left in a hurry and had only taken 100 or so people with them. The powerhouses imprisoned in the eternal cage were not just 100 or so. This time, Lu Ming wanted to bring all of them out. Anyway, Lu Ming's way of being a master could protect the small world when he traversed the void. Lu Ming took a step forward and his figure disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already outside the eternal cage. From a distance, one could see that the eternal cage was covered by a light screen, and at the very top, there was a treasure. Is that the treasure of the divine ancestor of the non-human race? Lu Ming muttered. That treasure might be a treasure that surpassed the heavenly Tao soldiers, but it wasn't at the level of a divine artifact. It was only in the middle of the heavenly Tao soldiers and divine artifacts. Chapter 2534, Shattering the Eternal Cage. Lu Ming did not hesitate much. He headed straight for the eternal cage and arrived under the light screen. Lu Ming waved his hand and used the way of the master on the light screen. Now, Lu Ming's understanding and control of the way of domination were many times stronger than before. He broke through the light screen easily and rushed in. However, at this moment, somewhere in the eternal cage, an old man with purple hair and a face full of wrinkles suddenly opened his eyes. Someone actually managed to sneak into the eternal cage. He's looking for death. The old man growled, and the killing intent he exuded was extremely cold. He was the expert who had replaced Duo Lei to guard the eternal cage. Furthermore, he was even stronger than Duo Lei. He wasn't a peak heavenly emperor, but an unrivaled expert at the demigod level. Exterminate. The elder's aura was powerful as he waved his hands and controlled the non-human divine ancestor's treasure. Buzz! The treasure started to shake and gave off a bright light. Beams of light, like divine swords, slashed toward Lu Ming. At this moment, the entire eternal cage was alarmed. What's going on? The Great Formation has been activated, and the murderous intent is so cold. What does Aogu want to do? Could it be that someone is trying to escape and has angered Aogu? At this moment, all the living beings in the eternal cage were alarmed. They all came out of their secret chambers and looked at each other as they speculated. Lu Ming was running at high speed in a passageway when he suddenly stopped. It seems that I've been discovered. Lu Ming frowned. He had thought that he would be able to fool the other party through the myriad world cage, but it seemed like he had already been exposed. Since he had been exposed, he might as well fight. Whoosh! Whoosh! Beams of light pierced through the mountain and the stone chamber, aiming at Lu Ming. The power was shocking. This light came from the treasure of the divine ancestor. It was so powerful that it could kill a peak heavenly emperor. However, Lu Ming's combat strength was not at the peak of the heavenly emperor realm. The great desolation spear appeared. With a shake, it shot out rays of spear radiance. Boom! 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 The spear radiance collided with the radiance, creating a deafening boom. The terrifying force struck the surrounding stone chambers. Even though the stone chambers were engraved with arrays, they could not withstand the force and were blown apart. Let's go, retreat to the center. Many figures rushed out of the secret chamber and headed for the center of the eternal cage. Demigod-level combat power. On the other side, the old man's name was Aogu. His eyes shone with a cold light as he took a step forward and charged towards Lu Ming. At the same time, he controlled the non-human divine ancestor's treasure to form beams of light and attack Lu Ming. The eternal cage ends here. I'll destroy it today, Lu Ming said coldly. His body burst into the air, and his long spear went against the flow. It destroyed a few rays of light in a row and swept out with the long spear. Boom! Boom! The entire mountain was disintegrating and exploding. However, Lu Ming controlled his strength very well. He only attacked the mountain and did not hurt the living beings inside. In the end, the entire mountain exploded. Under Lu Ming's power, it turned into ashes and his line of sight widened. Lu Ming swept his gaze and saw a large group of people gathered at the center of the eternal cage. There were more than 1,000 people. They were all living beings locked up in the eternal cage. Buzz! Buzz! From all corners of the eternal cage, there were experts in blood-red armor who were charging toward Lu Ming. "KM!" Lu Ming shouted coldly. He shook the great desolation spear and shot out beams of spear radiance at the alien races in blood-red armor. Some of these alien races were at the Great Emperor realm, and some were at the Heavenly Emperor realm. However, they could not resist at all. They were pierced by Lu Ming's spear radiance and died instantly. So strong, who is that? It seems to be Lu Ming. My God, it's really Lu Ming. Didn't he escape? Why did you come back? The people in the eternal cage recognized Lu Ming and were extremely shocked. Back then, Lu Ming had escaped, but he had returned now. Moreover, his combat strength was shockingly strong. Enter my small world, and I'll take you out, Lu Ming said to those people. Leave. Everyone was stunned. Leave? Today, no one can leave. A cold voice was heard, and a terrifying aura spread toward Lu Ming. In the next moment, an old man with dry and wrinkled skin appeared. It was Aogu. We're finished, many people thought. Aogu was an unrivaled powerhouse. Moreover, they were in the eternal cage. Aogu could control the treasure of the non-human race's divine ancestor. Lu Ming was definitely dead. Many people sighed. They did not understand why Lu Ming came back so stupidly after he had escaped. He looked as if he was going to fight Ao Gu. Where did he get the courage? It was not that they were hostile to Lu Ming. They just felt that Lu Ming's actions were somewhat unbelievable. Soit's a half-god. The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled up slightly. No wonder he was discovered the moment he entered. If there was only one peak heavenly emperor in charge, it would be impossible for him to be discovered so quickly. It seemed that after they escaped the last time, the foreign race had also raised their vigilance and sent a demigod to guard the eternal cage. Brat die. Ao Gu shouted coldly. He controlled the treasure of the non-human race's divine ancestor. Beams of terrifying light shot toward Lu Ming. You're the one who's going to die. Lu Ming said coldly. He took a step forward and his long spear was like a rainbow. It destroyed the rainbow lights and charged towards Ao Gu. Boom. The great desolation spear rapidly grew in size and shot towards Ao Gu. Ao Gu's expression changed. An iron rod appeared in his hand, and he swung it at Lu Ming. Clang! A terrifying tremor erupted. Then everyone saw a figure constantly retreating. It was Ao Gu. Ao Gu retreated dozens of steps before he could stabilize himself. His face was pale as he looked at Lu Ming in shock. He was not the only one. The others in the eternal cage were the same. They were all dumbfounded, thinking that they had seen wrong. Not only had Lu Ming destroyed the attack launched by the divine ancestor's treasure, but he had also forced Ao Gu to retreat with a single strike. How is this possible? Lu Ming's ability was too terrifying and shocking. They knew very well that when Lu Ming first entered the eternal cage, he could barely fight against a one-star celestial arch. However, only a few hundred years had passed, and Lu Ming could actually defeat an unrivaled powerhouse. Such a speed of improvement was simply a miracle. Many people's faces turned red. Previously, they felt that it was unwise for Lu Ming to run away and come back now. However, they understood now that it was not Lu Ming who was being unwise. They were ignorant. Lu Ming was back. He was clearly confident. Many people were excited. They hoped that Lu Ming could defeat Ao Gu and bring them out. How is that possible? Ao Gu was also shocked. He did not expect Lu Ming to have such powerful combat strength. Damn it, go to hell! Ao Gu roared, using all the power of the divine ancestor's treasure. Chapter 2534 Various Kings Moving Buzz. The treasure of the divine ancestor of the non-human race glowed with a dazzling light. Rays of sword-like light slashed at Lu Ming with even greater power. At the same time, Ao Gu himself also charged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming shook his long spear to fight against the rays of light. He also wanted to fight against Ao Gu. Boom. Boom. The area was filled with explosions and terrifying energy. Lu Ming separated a trace of his nominator power to block the creatures from the prison realm and heaven realm. Otherwise, the overflowing qi would have killed them. There were more than 10 consecutive explosions, and he was forced back 10 steps. The power of the divine ancestor's treasure is truly astonishing. Lu Ming had a thought. At this moment, Ao Gu was madly activating the treasure of the non-human race's divine ancestor. The power that erupted was extremely powerful. It was equivalent to the attack of a demigod master. With Ao Gu's own strength, Lu Ming was at a disadvantage. However, the divine ancestor's treasure was only a treasure after all. It was not a truly invincible expert and still needed Ao Gu to control it. In this way, it did not give Lu Ming as much pressure as the two unparalleled experts. The reason why Lu Ming was pushed back was that he had to divert his attention to protecting the people from the prison suppression field and the heaven realm. We have to end this quickly. The commotion here will probably alarm the upper echelons of the evil god tribe very soon. Lu Ming pondered in his heart. Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron, appear. Lu Ming mumbled. His glabella glowed, and the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron flew out. It grew rapidly and blasted toward the light emitted by the divine ancestor's treasure. Clang! Clang! The light struck the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. Although the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron kept shaking, it managed to block the attack. The divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron was refined by the ancestral dragon and the 9 dragons together. With the ancestral dragon's help, its grade had already surpassed the Heaven Dao soldiers. Although it had not reached the level of a divine artifact, its power was still shocking. In terms of grade, it wasn't any weaker than the treasure of the non-human divine ancestor. In addition, with Lu Ming's current cultivation base, the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron's power was even more terrifying. It blocked the attack of the Divine Ancestor's treasure in one move. "Kill, stop!" Lu Ming shouted. Now that he had blocked the treasure, he could focus on dealing with Ao Gu. Whoosh! Lu Ming became one with his spear and charged towards Ao Gu. Ao Gu's pupils shrank. He also attacked with his full power. Thump! Boom! The two of them exchanged a few blows. Ao Gu was violently shaken. His body was sent flying backward, crashing into a broken wall and shattering it into pieces. Buzz! Lu Ming did not give Ao Gu any chance to catch his breath. He quickly charged over and launched a storm of attacks. One after another, the spear shadows overlapped and enveloped Ao Gu. How is this possible? How can he be this strong? Ao Gu was shocked. He tried his best to resist, but he was at a complete disadvantage. He was not Lu Ming's match. One had to know that his cultivation had already reached the demigod realm. To be able to reach this level, which one of them wasn't an unparalleled genius with shocking talent. Who could be stronger than who? Their combat strength was almost the same. Even if there were outstanding talents such as the Primal Chaos Emperor and the Undying Emperor, they were not this powerful even though they were strong and could suppress demigods of the same level. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 moves had been exchanged. Ao Gu was whipped by Lu Ming's long spear. A large hole was blasted in his body, and blood flowed out. Now Lu Ming's abilities were getting stronger and stronger. He could fight 2 demigod-level figures for a few hundred moves without being defeated, let alone a demigod. It was completely one-sided. Boom. The two of them exchanged another blow and directly charged out of the area covered by the restriction of the eternal cage. Damn it, how did this happen? Where did this monster come from? Ao Gu roared in his heart. He had a very high seniority in the evil god race and had existed since ancient times. In the past, he had always been in seclusion and had only been invited out recently to take charge of the eternal cage. In the past few years, Lu Ming had been showing off his power in the heaven realm. He did not know about it, so he was naturally shocked. I have to hold on. The Divine Ancestor should sense it soon. When the reinforcements arrive, this kid will be dead. Ao Gu gritted his teeth and defended with all his strength. He didn't want to win, but he wanted to avoid any mistakes. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared on the peak of the evil god tribe's holy mountain. This figure was the non-human Divine Ancestor. However, this wasn't the true body of the non-human Divine Ancestor, but his projection. His true body was still healing. Lu Ming, you're really bold. The non-human Divine Ancestor's eyes were cold. He could sense what was happening over there through the eternal cage. Buzz! Jade tokens appeared in his hand. Then inscriptions appeared and entered the jade tokens. Then the jade tokens turned into rays of light and flew into the dark void, disappearing at an astonishing speed. Lu Ming, you actually dared to come to the evil god realm. This time, we'll completely get rid of this future trouble. The foreign Divine Ancestor murmured. At this moment, in the evil god world, in a magnificent palace, a middle-aged man wearing a crown was discussing matters in the main hall. Suddenly, he stretched out his hand and received a jade talisman. Lu Ming, it's this Lu Ming again. He's courting death. A cold glint flashed in the eyes of the king of the foreign tribe. This king has important matters to attend to. You all withdraw first. Yes. His subordinates retreated one after another. The king of the non-human race took a step forward and disappeared. In another king's city, another king also received a jade talisman and left the palace. A few non-human kings who were guarding the non-human army in the Nine Nether heavenly domain also received the jade talismans. Damn it, Lu Ming actually ran to the eternal cage. He's courting death. The two of you stay here and guard the place. We'll go back and hunt Lu Ming down. Of the 4 kings, 2 stayed and 2 left. They tore open space and charged towards the evil god world. A non-human king from the returning ruined city's camp had also returned to the evil god world. At this moment, a total of 7 demigod non-human experts were rushing toward the eternal cage. However, the non-human Divine Ancestor didn't attack. He was just a projection, and his strength was far inferior to his actual body. At most, he was equivalent to a peak heavenly emperor, so he couldn't do much even if he attacked. Boom. Boom. Over at the eternal cage, the battle was still ongoing. Lu Ming completely suppressed Ao Gu. The long spear struck down like a storm. Ao Gu was like a small boat in the sea that could be drowned by the sea water at any time. Kill, kill, kill. Lu Ming let out a long howl and exerted his strength to the extreme. Ao Gu was fully focused on defense. How could Lu Ming not know what he was thinking? He was stalling for time and waiting for help. How could Lu Ming let him have his wish? Bang! Lu Ming's spear swept across Ao Gu. Ao Gu screamed in pain and flew out. His body directly exploded and was split into two. However, the two halves of Ao Gu's body instantly fused together. His muscles wriggled as he tried to recover. However, his aura had weakened greatly. Kill! Lu Ming charged over. Although Ao Gu tried his best to block, his combat strength had been weakened. How could he block it? After a few moves, he was hit by Lu Ming again. This time, it was even worse. His body exploded and turned into dust, leaving only his head behind. Chapter 2535 surrounded Ao Gu was terrified. With only his head left, he retreated like crazy. He didn't want to give up. He still wanted to resist, hoping that reinforcements could come. However, Lu Ming took a step forward and blocked his way out. Ao Gu revealed a despairing look. Lu Ming, you've killed me, and you'll die sooner or later. The ancestral dragon is stubborn and has defied the will of the gods. On the day the sky is split open, divine punishment will descend, and you'll all die. Ao Gu roared, his face incomparably ferocious. Split open the sky. What is splitting open the sky? Lu Ming asked. Ha ha ha, the ancestral dragon has gone against the will of the gods and sealed off the sky. He's already on the path of no return. Ao Gu laughed. At this moment, Lu Ming's expression changed. You're pretty fast. Lu Ming's eyes flickered and the great desolation spear in his hand shot out rapidly. Pfft. This time, Ao Gu couldn't avoid it and his head was pierced through by the great desolation spear. His soul was also destroyed. After killing Ao Gu, Lu Ming put away the great desolation spear. In a flash, he flew back to the eternal cage. The restrictions of the eternal cage could not stop Lu Ming at all. Ao Gu, he's dead. At this moment, the people in the eternal cage were shocked beyond words. Ao Gu was actually killed by Lu Ming. He was an unrivaled powerhouse. As long as the war god didn't appear, he would be invincible. This was an unrivaled powerhouse. As long as the martial god did not appear, the unrivaled powerhouse would almost never die, unless he was besieged by multiple experts of the same level. But now, Lu Ming had killed an unrivaled powerhouse all by himself. It was like a legend. It was too shocking to see this scene with their own eyes. Hurry, there's no time. Enter my small world, and I'll take you away. Lu Ming shouted and waved his hand. A light screen enveloped everyone. Then, with a flash, everyone was kept into the small world. Lu Ming, you're courting death. At this moment, an angry roar sounded between heaven and earth. Selah! The sky cracked open, and a figure appeared in the air, exuding an extremely powerful aura. It was a non-human king. After this non-human king appeared, another non-human king appeared in another direction. Their eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. As soon as they arrived, they could sense that Ao Gu had been killed. This was a demigod that had survived since ancient times. Since ancient times, the evil god race had not given birth to many demigods. This was a huge loss. Lu Ming, I'm going to burn your bones and scatter your ashes. A non-human king roared and launched an attack on Lu Ming. I don't have time to play with you. Lu Ming dashed in another direction and passed through the restriction. He was about to tear the space and escape. However, the next moment, Lu Ming's expression changed and he retreated rapidly. Buzz! The space cracked open, and a terrifying battle axe was slashing toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's long spear swept out and blocked the axe. Then a burly figure appeared. This was a noble of the evil god race. He was not a member of the royal family, but his aura was equally terrifying. He was also an unrivaled expert at the demigod level. The evil god tribe was not a royal tribe, so they could cultivate to the demigod level. Ordinary members of the evil god race and their aristocrats could also cultivate to the demigod level. The royal family of the evil god tribe only had purer bloodlines, higher talents, and more powerful experts. As for the ordinary members of the evil god race and the aristocrats of the evil god race, it was a little more difficult for them to cultivate to the demigod level. However, it was not impossible. The three demigods surrounded Lu Ming. However, this was not the end. Behind Lu Ming, the space cracked open and another king of the alien race appeared. The fourth one. Lu Ming's eyes turned solemn. Buzz! Lu Ming suddenly moved and rushed toward the sky. Stay! The two kings of the non-human race joined forces and charged toward Lu Ming, blocking his path. Boom! Boom! There were two consecutive terrifying explosions, and Lu Ming was blocked. There was a non-human king who was even stronger than the other kings. This non-human king looked different from the other non-human kings. He had long, fiery red hair and a pair of wings on his back that were suffused with fiery red flames. His appearance was very similar to Kong Duo, who was ranked second on the Evil God tribe's longevity roll. Each of this person's moves carried a terrifying flame that seemed to want to burn the heavenly Tao. After Lu Ming was blocked, the other two demigods charged at him at the same time. Buzz! Lu Ming waved his long spear rapidly and defended his surroundings tightly. However, there was still a huge gap between him and the four invincible powerhouses. The continuous attacks caused his long spear to stagnate. Then an attack landed on his body. Bang! Lu Ming's body was sent flying, and he spat out a large mouthful of blood. Buzz! Buzz! Whoosh! The four demigods of the Evil God tribe charged toward Lu Ming again. Run! At this moment, there was only one word in Lu Ming's heart, and that was to escape. He understood that he was no match for four demigods. If he stayed to fight, he would die. The Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. With a single thought, Lu Ming took out the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron and attacked the two non-human kings. He seized the opportunity to break through their defense and escape. Lu Ming, you're going to die today. A cold voice was heard. Then, the space cracked and two more figures appeared, launching an attack on Lu Ming. Two more kings. Moreover, Lu Ming recognized the two of them. They had fought with each other before. They were the two foreign tribe kings who were guarding the abysmal heavenly region. Sila. Then, another non-human king appeared from another direction. He was coming from returning Bamboo City. There were a total of 7 demigod-level beings. Boom. Boom. One attack after another was launched at Lu Ming. Faced with so many attacks, Lu Ming could not withstand them at all. He was sent flying, his body cracked and bleeding profusely. He almost burst open. He circulated the indestructible ancient scroll with all his might to recover from his injuries. I must escape. I will definitely escape. Even when facing the 7 demigods, Lu Ming remained calm and raised his strength to the maximum. Whoosh! Whoosh! In front of him, a sword and a long spear were charging toward Lu Ming. Above his head, a battle axe and an iron rod were blasted toward Lu Ming. There were attacks from the right, back, and left. Block it, block it, block it! Lu Ming's eyes shone brightly. His physical strength, the power of the path of domination, and the battle character formula were all used to the extreme. The Great Desolation spear trembled and turned into a shocking spear radiance that attacked in all directions. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming's spear's gleam was scattered. After all, it was not powerful enough. It was crushed by the demigods of the non-human race. Lu Ming was sent flying again. He was hit by a combat sword and his body was almost cut in half. However, his life force was still extremely vigorous. With the help of the indestructible ancient scroll, he was recovering rapidly. It's the indestructible ancient scroll. So it's in your hands. One of the non-human kings said coldly. He recognized the indestructible ancient scroll. Chapter 2537 Battle Formula. Breakthrough. So what if you have the indestructible ancient scroll? Back then, we killed the immortal venerable sovereign. Obliterate him. Cold voices rang out one after another. The 7 demigods of the non-human race did not stop attacking Lu Ming. Lu Ming could only focus on defense. However, the 7 demigods working together were too terrifying. No one in the world could stop them except for the martial god. If it had been any other demigod, they would have been instantly blown up by the joint attack of 7 experts of the same level. Lu Ming had only blocked a few of their attacks and was hit again. This time, his injuries were even more serious. More than half of his body had exploded, and his internal organs could be clearly seen. Some of his internal organs had even turned into ashes. Lu Ming's face turned pale, and he vomited a large mouthful of blood. He's going to die. Attack and completely destroy him. A few non-human kings became excited. Lu Ming's talent was too shocking. They were a little frightened. It was a great thing to be able to kill Lu Ming now. You want to kill me? You can't do it. A fruit appeared in Lu Ming's hand, and he swallowed it in one gulp. It was the life fruit. Boom. After swallowing the life fruit seemed to explode and turned into endless life energy that enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming's injuries recovered rapidly. His body, which had exploded, grew back completely in an instant. It was simply a miracle. This was the effect of the life fruit. The fruit of life, it's the fruit of life from Netherworld Mountain. The ancestral dragon is actually willing to give him a fruit of life. A non-human king exclaimed in envy. They had thought that the fruit of life was given to Lu Ming by the ancestral dragon. After all, the non-human divine ancestor and the others had obtained a total of 11 fruits of life when they entered Netherworld Mountain, but none of them had been given out. They had all been consumed and refined by the non-human divine ancestor and the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. Therefore, when they saw the life fruit, they were naturally envious. Kill him and extract his blood. There's still medicinal effects. One of the non-human kings said coldly as he charged at Lu Ming. He wanted to kill Lu Ming and extract his blood. Kill! 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 The other non-human demigods also charged toward Lu Ming. Come on, come on! There was a crazed look in Lu Ming's eyes. His injuries had almost recovered after consuming the life fruit. He had raised his abilities to the maximum. In this life and death crisis, he seemed to see the bottleneck of the battle character formula, as if he could break through this bottleneck at any time. The Great Desolation Spear bloomed in Lu Ming's hands and shot out beams of dazzling spear radiance at the 7 non-human demigods. Bang! 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 Clang! 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 The two sides continued to collide. Lu Ming was still no match for them, and he was severely injured in the collision. However, the life fruit was indeed mysterious, and its medicinal effects were shocking. Lu Ming's blood was filled with strong vitality. Once Lu Ming was injured, he would recover quickly. As long as he was not killed in an instant, Lu Ming could recover very quickly. For this reason, he managed to withstand the opponent's attack. Soon. In such a desperate situation, Lu Ming's mind was highly focused. He used the battle character formula to the extreme. The life fruit's medicinal effects are too strong. It's hard to kill him like this. A non-human king roared. Then he'll completely refine him. The non-human king, who was covered in flames, spoke coldly. Then his third eye shone brightly and a furnace appeared from it. Then the non-human king's body shrank rapidly and disappeared into the furnace. The furnace burst out with a terrifying devouring power, wanting to devour Lu Ming. The other 6 kings of the foreign races worked together and attacked Lu Ming continuously, trying to throw him into the furnace. Lu Ming resisted with all his might, but his body was still moving towards the furnace. Before he even entered, the terrifying temperature was already making his skin hurt. This was a terrifying attack method that Lu Ming had seen before. Back then, at the foot of the evil god tribe's holy mountain, Lu Ming had challenged the longevity roll and fought Kong Duo, who was ranked 2nd on the longevity roll. In the end, Kong Duo had also used this move, and its power was indeed shocking. This non-human king's attack was much more powerful than Kong Duo's. Break, break! Lu Ming growled in his heart. The Great Desolation Spear vibrated continuously. It vibrated hundreds of millions of times per second. This was also because the Great Desolation Spear was a Heaven Dao weapon, and its material was amazing. If it was a normal Great Emperor weapon, it would have exploded into pieces after shaking so many times every second. Suddenly, the Great Desolation Spear trembled and the spear light exploded. A spear light pierced through the air and forced the 2 non-human kings back. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He had broken through. The battle symbol art had broken through the bottleneck and reached a whole new realm. Lu Ming activated the battle formula crazily. Boom! All of a sudden, Lu Ming felt an explosion in his body. An endless fighting spirit burst out from the depths of his body. Then, this fighting spirit turned into rolling power, causing Lu Ming's strength to soar in an instant. Bang! Lu Ming shook his spear and exchanged a blow with a king of the alien race. The king's body shook violently, and he was sent flying tens of thousands of miles away. Damn it, his battle prowess! Why did it suddenly skyrocket? The non-human kings were all shocked. My battle strength, even Lu Ming himself was shocked. In that instant, Lu Ming realized that his combat strength had doubled. That's right, his overall combat strength had doubled, and it was all because he had activated the battle character. Fight, fight, fight! Lu Ming's fighting spirit was boundless. He kept waving the great desolation spear, sending out rays of spear radiance that were 1,000,000 miles long, sweeping across the void. Bang! The smelting furnace that the non-human king had transformed into a scent flying by Lu Ming's whip. It crashed into the ground and exploded. Everything within a radius of 1,000,000 miles was reduced to ashes. Not a single blade of grass could grow. Let's work together. Don't split up. Let's attack together. One of the kings roared. The non-human kings didn't dare to split up. They all worked together, and every time they attacked together. Boom. Boom. Lu Ming blocked a few moves, and his figure only retreated slightly. This was already an extremely terrifying thing. Previously, he had been at a disadvantage even when facing 2 demigods, and it had been rather difficult. But now, he was facing the joint attack of so many demigods, and he only retreated slightly. One could see how much his combat strength had improved. How is that possible? How is that possible? The non-human kings were all shocked and couldn't believe what they were seeing. What kind of monster was Lu Ming? He could actually increase his combat strength in a big battle. Most importantly, they did not discover that Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through. His cultivation had not broken through, but his combat strength had increased tremendously. What was going on? Boom. With a boom, the non-human king that had turned into a furnace returned to his original form and rushed out of the ground. He met up with the 6 demigods, and his eyes were extremely serious. Haha, I won't play with you guys today. Let's fight another day. Lu Ming laughed. He took a step forward and the space cracked. He wanted to tear the space apart and escape. Chapter 2538 Closed Door Cultivation. Lu Ming wanted to tear open space and leave. But the 7 demigods of the non-human race did not want to let him off so easily. Make him stay. I must kill him. The 7 demigods of the non-human race attacked Lu Ming one after another. The 7 attacks combined and headed for Lu Ming. A cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. With a shake of his body, he appeared in another direction. He swept the great desolation spear horizontally, shattering the void. The 7 non-human demigods hurriedly blocked Lu Ming's attack. However, Lu Ming appeared in another direction and shot out another spear. In the blink of an eye, both sides had exchanged dozens of moves. The non-human demigod could not do anything to Lu Ming. Boom. There was another loud boom as the 2 of them exchanged a blow. Lu Ming's figure retreated rapidly. Behind him, the space cracked open and Lu Ming rushed into it, disappearing. Damn it! The 7 non-human demigods' faces were ghastly, but they did not pursue him. They knew that they could not do anything to Lu Ming. I must report this to the divine ancestor. We must get rid of Lu Ming as soon as possible. A non-human demigod also left and headed toward the non-human sacred mountain. Lu Ming, on the other hand, traversed the void and headed for the heaven realm at top speed. It did not take long for Lu Ming to arrive at a battlefield outside Two World City. Now, the camp had been broken through and the battlefield was empty. Lu Ming waved his hand, and the 1,000-odd people from the eternal cage appeared on the battlefield. As soon as these people appeared, their heads began to spin around. Where is this place? Someone asked. This is the heaven realm. Lu Ming said. What? Heaven realm? Everyone was shocked. This place was actually the heaven realm. Did this not mean that Lu Ming had brought them from the evil god realm to the heaven realm? But how was that possible? They traveled through the long void and were in Lu Ming's small world. How could they be fine? Lu Ming could actually bring them from the evil god realm to the heaven realm. Such a miraculous method made them exclaim in admiration. Then we have escaped from the evil god world? When many people thought of this question, they were all ecstatic. They had been locked up in the eternal cage for far too long. Now that they were free, they were extremely excited. Lu Ming, thank you for your help. I'll remember this great kindness in my heart. If you need any help in the future, just ask. Me too. These people expressed their gratitude to Lu Ming one by one. Everyone from the prison suppression field, I have news for you. The ancestor dragon has brought the prison suppression field to the heaven realm. You can go to him, Lu Ming said. The prison suppression field was taken to the heaven realm. The people from the prison suppression field were also overjoyed. In this way, they could reunite with the people from the prison suppression field. Also, Lu Ming's gaze was directed in one direction. There were more than a dozen foreign races there, all of them at the heavenly emperor realm. Back then, Lu Ming had heard Qing Tsong say that these alien races were imprisoned in the eternal cage because they opposed the evil god race's attack on the Heaven Realm. Everyone, I'm afraid that a decisive battle will break out between the Heaven Realm and the evil god tribe in the near future. Where are you going to go? Lu Ming said. The expressions of the evil god tribe members changed, and they became very complicated. Although they were against the evil god race attacking the Heaven Realm, they couldn't help the Heaven Realm deal with the evil god race. Let's leave and find a place to live in seclusion, away from this mess. One of the evil god race members sighed. All right, I'll help you remove this sealed armor. Lu Ming waved his hand and cast the way of the master, enveloping them. Those at the Heavenly Emperor realm and above wore blood-red armor that could seal one's cultivation base. However, with Lu Ming's current strength, he could easily remove these armors. Many thanks. More than 10 alien races cupped their fists at Lu Ming, then turned around and strode away. Then, Lu Ming removed the armors on the remaining people. Out of the remaining 1,000 or so people, at least 300 of them had the cultivation base of the Heavenly Emperor realm. This was an extremely shocking force. If he brought them back to the Heaven Realm, they would be of use in the future when they fought against the evil god race. Lu Ming put these people back into the small world. He then entered Two World City quietly and released them at a deserted place. These people thanked Lu Ming again and left one by one. The people from the prison guard field went to look for them. The living beings of the Heaven Realm had relatives and friends in the Heaven Realm. They had been locked up in the eternal cage for many years. This time, when they returned, they naturally had to visit their relatives and friends. As for Lu Ming, he had returned to the Dragon Sovereign Peak alone. Lu Ming was standing against the wind on the peak of the Dragon Sovereign Peak. Now, my combat strength has fallen back. Lu Ming frowned. Previously, he felt that his body was filled with battle strength, but now he fell back down. Could it be because of the battle formula? Let's try again. Lu Ming thought of the battle formula and started to activate it. Previously, when he had a breakthrough in the battle symbol art, his battle power was stronger than before when he used his full strength, but it was not as exaggerated. It's useless. Lu Ming frowned. He did not give up and continued to activate the battle character formula. After activating it 7 or 8 times, boom, Lu Ming's body seemed to be surging with endless power. A casual move of his was filled with terrifying combat strength. His combat strength had doubled. Is there still a chance? Lu Ming made a guess. Following that, Lu Ming continued to experiment and explore. Indeed, he discovered that there was a probability. He had to activate the battle character about 10 times before he could trigger it successfully once. His battle prowess would double. The success rate was about 1/10. However, even if it was only 1/10, Lu Ming was already ecstatic. At his current realm, there were too few secret skills that could allow him to burst out in combat power. At this critical moment, his combat strength suddenly doubled. It was extremely terrifying. He could turn the tables and kill his opponent. For example, if he hadn't triggered the doubling of his combat power in the Myriad World Cage, he probably wouldn't have been able to escape the siege of 7 non-human demigods. Moreover, Lu Ming felt that this was because he was not very familiar with the cultivation of the battle formula yet. As his understanding of the battle formula deepened, the probability of this happening would increase. In the end, it might reach a 100% trigger rate. In the future, as his understanding of the battle formula deepened, would he be able to trigger 3-fold or 4-fold increase in combat power? Lu Ming could not help but let his imagination run wild. Baya said that the battle character is extremely shocking even in the primeval universe. Once it's exposed, it will attract countless experts to fight for it. It seems that he's not lying. Lu Ming only now realized how terrifying and shocking the battle formula was. Now that I've achieved a breakthrough in the battle symbol art, I should be able to break through the heavenly Daos obstruction with my current combat strength. I'll go into seclusion and try to break through to the Heavenly Emperor realm. Lu Ming muttered to himself, his eyes filled with anticipation. How strong would he be once he broke through to the Heavenly Emperor realm? Chapter 2539 Decisive Battle. Arrival immediately, Lu Ming set up a formation at the peak of the Dragon Emperor Peak. Then, he sat cross-legged and began to try to break through to the Heavenly Emperor realm. Of course, it was not that easy to break through to the Heavenly Emperor realm. He had to first adjust his state to its peak, and then consolidate the battle character formula before he could start the breakthrough. Lu Ming was immersed in a deep level of cultivation. Evil God World, Holy Mountain. A terrifying power suddenly erupted from the peak of the Holy Mountain. A supreme majesty spread out, and then a figure appeared in the sky. This figure was the non-human divine ancestor. Greetings, sacred ancestor. The non-human kings all bowed. At this moment, the non-human beings cultivating on the Holy Mountain were also alarmed. They woke up from their seclusion and flew out of the Holy Mountain to greet the non-human divine ancestor. Lu Ming is a huge variable. We can't wait any longer. I've almost recovered. It's time to level the heaven realm. The outsider divine ancestor said. I'm willing to die for the divine ancestor. Greetings. All the non-humans bowed respectfully. Gather all the experts of our tribe. Set off with the army and flatten the heaven realm. The non-human divine ancestor gave the order. Yes, your majesty. All the non-human kings acknowledged and left. Murderer Xin, although you haven't fully recovered, you already have the combat strength of a martial god. We can't wait any longer. That Lu Ming must be eliminated. The foreign divine ancestor murmured. The battle in the eternal cage had truly shocked the non-human divine ancestor. Lu Ming's performance was beyond common sense. He had long recognized that Lu Ming had mastered the path of domination. Even in outer space, only a few peerless geniuses could master the path of domination. He was already shocked that Lu Ming could control it. However, Lu Ming's combat strength was even more terrifying. He was uneasy. Originally, he had wanted to wait for a while until sacred ancestor Bloodheart had fully recovered before attacking the heaven realm. However, he could not wait any longer. Who knew what level Lu Ming's cultivation would reach if they waited any longer? The entire evil god world was in chaos. Countless experts woke up from their seclusion and gathered in the 10 great imperial cities. The strange beast stepped in the air and roared like thunder. One by one, the experts whizzed past. The non-human race's 10 great imperial cities had countless experts gathered, forming a huge army. In the imperial city of the number 1 royal clan of the evil god tribe, the king of the number 1 royal clan was waiting respectfully outside an underground secret chamber. Kacha! The door of the secret chamber opened, and a slightly older royal member of the evil god tribe walked out. Your son pays his respects to father. The king of the number 1 royal family immediately saluted respectfully. This elder from the evil god tribe was the king of the previous generation of the first royal family. He was an old demigod who had been in seclusion since the ancient battle. Are we finally going to launch a general attack on the heavenly realm? The old king muttered as his eyes flickered with a cold light. Not only did the first royal family have such a figure, but the other royal families also had such a figure. They were all old king tiers who had retreated, and they were all incomparably terrifying figures. At this moment, they all came out of seclusion. Evil god world, in a desolate land, there was an abyss. From above, it was pitch black, and one couldn't see what was in the abyss. This was a famous forbidden area in the evil god world. Normally, no one would dare to step into it. At the bottom of the abyss, there were many members of the evil god tribe sitting cross-legged. The number was shocking. There were 100,000 of them. It was unknown how many years these evil god tribe members had been sitting here, and it was as if they had turned into stone statues. There were all sorts of races in the evil god race. There were ordinary evil god races, evil god aristocrats, and even royal races. At this moment, some of them suddenly opened their eyes. Their eyes shone with a bright light, and an extremely cold killing intent spread out. Buzz! Whoosh! Following that, the other members of the evil god tribe opened their eyes as well. One after another, powerful auras shot up into the sky and gathered together, causing the color of the heavens and earth to change. When the war begins, the heaven realm will be destroyed. Kill, kill, kill. Roars rang out from the abyss. After that, 100,000 members of the evil god tribe flew out of the abyss. This was a terrifying army. It was called the Sky-Breaking Army. Anyone who had experienced the ancient war would know how terrifying this army was. Back then, countless experts from the heaven realm had died under this army. The evil god race had turned out in full strength, and there were countless experts. In the lair of Zulong, where Zulong was in seclusion, a deafening dragon roar suddenly came out. A vast dragon might spread out and covered the entire lair of Zulong. Roar! A huge true dragon flew out and hovered above the lair of Zulong. It was the true body of the ancestral dragon. He had already sensed everything about the evil god tribe and had come out of seclusion ahead of time. In the lair of Zulong, countless experts who were in seclusion opened their eyes and flew out of their seclusion to stand in the air. The sky above the lair of Zulong was filled with people, each of whom had an astonishingly powerful aura. The final battle is coming. The evil god tribe has turned out in full strength and is going to attack the heaven realm. Sound the war drums. Send down the order. Tell everyone in the 9 Nether Heavenly Domain, 10,000 Spirit Heavenly Domain, and Hunyuan Heavenly Domain to retreat to the Two-World City. Well, use the Two-World City and the ruins of End City to defend against the evil god tribe. In addition, gather all the experts above Emperor to be in the Heaven Realm and the Primordial Realm. Head to Two-World City and gather in Return Bamboo City. The ancestral dragon gave several orders. Yes, your majesty. Everyone bowed respectfully, then turned into streaks of light and disappeared. Thump, thump, thump. On this day, the deafening sound of war drums came from the lair of Zulong and spread throughout the heavenly realm. Is the final battle coming? At the bottom of a large lake, an old man with messy hair suddenly opened his eyes. The light in his eyes was like a divine sword that pierced through the sky. Then he took a step and disappeared. A series of volcanoes and a phoenix's cry resounded through the firmament. I've been in seclusion for countless years. It's finally time for a battle. Buzz! A blazing phoenix soared into the sky and disappeared. A group of people charged into the sky from a vast mountain. The Song family has been in seclusion for many years. It's time for a battle. Let's go! A voice rang out as a group of tall and sturdy experts soared into the air. Roar! Roar! Dragon roars came from the most famous dragon valley in the Tai Ching Heaven region. This was the gathering place of the True Dragon clan, where most of the true dragons in the heaven realm gathered. At this moment, the true dragons spiraled up into the sky. Black dragon, snow dragon, blood dragon, fire dragon, white dragon, blue dragon, golden dragon. The different true dragons gathered together and formed an army of true dragons that flew toward the battlefield of the ultimate. In another place, countless sky tigers soared into the sky. In the phoenix nest, countless phoenixes were flying. On the Qilin Peak, countless Qilin stepped into the air. At this moment, countless divine beasts and clans gathered in the Tai Ching heavenly region. They were heading for the battlefield of the sinkhole. This time, the divine beasts would be in charge of the sinkhole battlefield, while the humans would be in charge of Two-World City. The human race, regardless of their size, such as the Land family, were all rushing to Two-World City. Chapter 2540 All-Out War erupts. Countless major powers were rushing to Two-World City. In the face of a life-and-death battle in the heavenly realm, no one could stay out of it. Defeat meant death. The heaven realm powerhouses in the 9 Serenities, 10,000 Spirit, and Hunyuan heavenly domains also retreated to Two-World City. After all, the Two-World City had been in operation for many years and had set up countless formations. It would be easier for them to defend. If they were to defend the 9 levels of underground instead, their forces would be scattered and they would be defeated by the other party. The Heavenly Realm army gathered at the 2 battlefields and waited. A group of people stood in the void outside the lair of Zulong. Every single one of them was a terrifying expert. They were all unrivaled figures in the demigod realm. In the past, they had always been in closed-door cultivation, but now they had all come out. In front of them, there were 2 images. These 2 images could directly reflect the situation on the battlefield of the ruins of End and the battlefield of Two-World City. This was where they commanded and monitored the situation of the 2 battlefields. Dragon Sovereign Peak. The young master is still in seclusion. What should we do? Lei asked the others. The final battle is coming. We must participate in it. How about this? 2 of us will stay behind to protect the young master. The rest of us will go and participate in the battle. Earth One said. That's the only way. The others nodded. Not long after, a group of people flew out from the Dragon Emperor Peak. Those who were Emperor-to-be and above all flew to the Two-World City, leaving behind 2 heavenly Emperor-level figures. For example, Lu Xiangxiang, Ouyang Moli, Bubbles, Longcheng, Huangling, and Desolately had all rushed to Two-World City. In addition, the primordial realm's large and small forces also transferred their powerhouses to the heaven realm to participate in the war through the void passageway. This was a life-and-death battle. Even if some forces didn't want to participate, they had no choice. If they didn't want to participate, they would be eliminated by other experts. In the sky above the dragon's sovereign peak, there was a flash and the figure of the ancestral dragon appeared. He sized Lu Ming up for a while and said softly, "You're about to break through. Lu Ming, I hope you can break through as soon as possible." After saying that, the ancestral dragon disappeared and reappeared outside the lair of Zulong, at the command center. Zulong, as the strongest person in the heaven realm, naturally had to sit here and command. In the evil god world, there were also some figures standing in the void. These were all non-human kings and old non-human kings. Of course, the one in the center was the non-human divine ancestor. In front of them, 2 pictures were floating in the air, showing Two World City and Returning Bamboo City. At this moment, countless evil god tribes' army was heading toward the heaven realm through the spatial passageway. The void passage connecting the evil god world and the heaven realm was very wide and could accommodate many living beings at the same time. Send all the mutant beasts to attack Returning Bamboo City. The non-human divine ancestor gave the order. As soon as he gave the order, someone immediately used a voice transmission jade talisman and disappeared in a flash of light. Of course, this place was too far away from the heaven realm. The jade voice transmission talisman couldn't transmit that far in one go. However, they had messengers along the way. This voice transmission jade talisman flew to the next messenger, and this messenger continued to send voice transmissions to the next one. Just like that, it didn't take long for the news to reach the heavenly realm. There was a similar voice transmission route in the heavenly realm. The evil god tribe's army was split into 2 groups, and they charged toward Returning Flame City and Two World City. As time passed, the armies of both sides drew closer. The battlefield outside the city of Returning Ruins suddenly roared like thunder. Countless strange beasts from the evil god realm appeared and rushed toward the city of Returning Ruins. This kind of mutant beast also had 3 eyes, a huge body, extremely bloodthirsty and crazy, and its battle strength was also extremely shocking. "Get ready!" A voice came from Returning Bamboo City. "Roar! Roar!" All kinds of roars were heard, and countless divine beasts of the heavenly realm were ready to go. Boom! 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 Countless strange beasts of the evil god world, either running on the ground or stepping in the void, made a loud rumbling sound and rushed toward the city of the ruins of End. Boundless. It was truly boundless. He couldn't even see how many beasts there were. Activate the formation. Above Returning Bamboo City, a grand array glowed, and countless grand arrays appeared. The heaven realm had defended Giji City for countless years. They had set up all kinds of formations like iron. There were defensive types and also offensive types. Attack! When the evil god world's exotic beasts were a certain distance away from Returning Flame City, someone gave the order. Whoosh! Whoosh! A dazzling light shone on Returning Flame City. Countless attacks flew out toward the strange beasts of the evil god world. Pft! Pft! The evil god world's strange beasts were constantly killed, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. However, there were too many strange beasts from the evil god world. They were endless and surged toward the city of Returning Firmament like a tide. To the evil god tribe, these exotic beasts were nothing more than beasts. They didn't care about them at all. The evil god world's strange beasts were constantly being killed, but even more strange beasts were approaching Returning Flame City. Boom! Finally, the evil god tribe's strange beast reached the bottom of Returning Ruins City and slammed into the city's defensive array. At that moment, the entire city of Returning Ruins trembled. Kill! The divine beast army on Giji City kept attacking the strange beasts. At the same time, the city of the ruins of End's attack formation was also activated, and all kinds of attacks were launched at these strange beasts. A large number of strange beasts were killed, but those strange beasts were crazy and fearless. They crazily hit the defensive formation of the city of Returning Ruins. In fact, some of the beasts even chose to self-destruct. Boom! Boom! The city of the ruins of End's defensive array kept on rumbling, and the shaking became more and more intense. Some places finally couldn't withstand it and were torn apart. A large group of evil god world's exotic beasts charged into Returning Flame City. Kill! The army of divine beasts roared and attacked these strange beasts. The 2 sides met in close combat, and a tragic battle officially broke out. At that moment, Countless evil god tribe armies appeared on the battlefield outside the two-world city. There were no mutant beasts here. They were all experts from the evil god tribe. Countless members of the evil god race were packed together, covering the sky and the sun as they charged towards the two-world city. Furthermore, there were all sorts of heavy siege weapons that crushed through the void as they sailed towards two-world city. Get ready! On the two-world city, the Heavenly Realm army began to prepare. The formation glowed, and all kinds of defensive formations were activated. The armies of both sides were getting closer and closer. Attack! The Heaven Realm side was the first to attack, and all sorts of attacks flew toward the Evil God Tribe's army. Set up the formation and defend. The Evil God Tribe's army was completely different from the strange beasts of the Evil God world. They formed groups of 2,000 or 1,000 people and formed defensive formations. At the same time, they used defensive weapons to resist. The attacks from the Heaven Realm did not have much effect. Boom, boom, boom. The Evil God Tribe's army continued to approach the two-world city. The Heaven Realm's army had limited destructive power against the Evil God Tribe. After all, it was a long-range attack, so its power was not particularly strong. Boom. Finally, the Evil God Tribe's army crashed into the two-world city's defensive formation and started to attack it. Chapter 2541, Final Battle 1. The Evil God Tribe had sent in too many troops. It could be said that they had turned out in full strength. Moreover, the weakest of them were at the Emperor-to-be realm. There were at least tens of millions of Emperor-to-be Evil God Tribe members, millions of empty Emperor Realm Evil God Tribe members, and hundreds of thousands of true Emperor Realm members. Among them, there were tens of thousands of great emperors. What kind of terrifying power was this? Furthermore, the Evil God race had great emperors as their generals, true emperors and void emperors as their backbones, and emperors-to-be as their soldiers. The power of the formations they had set up was even more shocking. This level of power was not something that the Evil God Tribe's previous attacks could compare to. In the past, only a portion of the Evil God Tribe's forces had attacked the two-world city. Now they were going all out. Boom, boom, boom. The defensive formation above the two-world city began to rumble and shake violently. If this continued, it would not be able to defend for long. Although the attack formation above the two-world city continued to attack and killed a portion of the Evil God Tribe, it was like a cup of water on a burning cart of firewood in the face of the endless tide of Evil God Tribe. Selah. Some of the defensive formations were torn apart. Once a hole was opened, it was like water bursting out of a dam. It was unstoppable. The defensive array formation continued to collapse, and more cracks appeared. Kill. Level the Heaven Realm. Kill. The endless Evil God Tribe members charged into the formation. Kill. The Heaven Realm experts also charged toward the Evil God Tribe, and an intense battle broke out between the two sides. However, neither side sent in any Heavenly Emperor powerhouses. The Heavenly Emperor realm was the core power of both sides. It was very crucial. If the Evil God race did not make a move, the Heaven Realm would not make a move either. Otherwise, if they were to kill the Evil God race below the Heavenly Emperor stage, they would expend their energy and be killed by the Heavenly Emperor instead. That would affect the battle situation. The battle in both Two-World City and Returning Ruins City became more and more intense. In the end, the defensive formations of the two cities completely collapsed. The powerhouses from both sides were fighting each other. Both sides added up to almost 100 million soldiers fighting. The scene was too shocking. The city walls of Two-World City, which stretched for tens of millions of miles, were caught in the flames of war. Countless people were fighting, and their shouts shook the sky. Blood was everywhere. With my blood, I will exterminate the outsiders in exchange for peace in the Heavenly Realm. A middle-aged man from the Heaven Realm let out a long roar. He had the cultivation base of a great emperor. His long blade swept out in a mighty manner, splitting an Evil God Tribe's great emperor into two. However, on the other side, a destructive light pierced through and killed the human. Such situations were happening all over the battlefield. On the battlefield, the situation was constantly changing. At every moment, a large number of people were dying. Kill. Long Chen, Huang Li, Ouyang Wushuang, Lu Xiangxiang, Ouyang Moli, Huang Li, and the others gathered together and formed a formation. They swept out and killed the Evil God race members one by one. They had all entered the Netherworld Island and had a fortuitous encounter, which greatly improved their cultivation. In the past 200 years, they had refined the life fruit that Lu Ming had given them, and their cultivation levels had increased explosively. Each of them had reached the peak Great Emperor realm. With so many of them working together and forming a formation, they were invincible. Wherever they went, evil god race members were killed. Not long after, they had already killed over 1,000 members of the evil god race. In the evil god world, the non-human sacred ancestor and the kings were all watching. Their faces were calm and unruffled. To them, no matter how many members of the evil god race who were below the heavenly emperor level died, they would not care. What they cared about was whether they could finally level the heaven realm and successfully split open the sky. This was related to their future. They didn't care about the exotic beasts in particular. On the battlefield of the ruins of End, the fighting was even more intense. The strange beasts of the evil god tribe and the divine beasts of the heaven realm were fighting here. The evil god tribe's strange beasts were extremely crazy and fearless. They also caused the divine beasts in the heaven realm to suffer heavy losses. Form the divine beast formation. A voice rang out on the battlefield. Roar! Roar! The roars of dragons could be heard as the true dragons of the True Dragon clan began to gather and combine together to form a large formation. They turned into a terrifying true dragon with a shocking aura that swept in all directions. With a single roar, a large number of strange beasts were killed. At the same time, the Phoenix race, Qilin race, Heavenly Tiger race, Sacred Ox race, and the others all formed a huge formation, turning into huge phoenixes, Qilin, and Heavenly Tigers. Their power rose sharply, and in an instant, a large number of the evil god race's beasts were killed. The battlefield of the ruins of End, send out the giant whisker race. The non-human divine ancestor ordered. Yes. Someone immediately spread the news. Boom, boom, boom. In front of returning Bamboo City, the earth rumbled and giant creatures appeared at the end of the world. It was an extremely huge creature covered in black scales. There were many huge tentacles on its body, which looked like the tentacles of an octopus. There was also a third eye in the center of their brows. This was the giant whisker race of the evil god race. These living beings were extremely rare in the evil god race. However, when they matured, their bodies would be astonishingly huge. When they stood on the ground, they would truly be able to support the heavens and earth. If Lu Ming were here, he would definitely be able to recognize that the passageway guarded by the Titan longhorn beetle was attacked by this kind of creature. Boom, boom. The giant beard clansman stomped on the ground. With every step he took, the ground would explode and crack. A terrifying aura covered the sky and earth, sweeping in all directions. The giant whisker race, the True Dragon race, the Qilin race, and the Phoenix race formed a huge formation and started to fight. It made the battle in the city of returning ruins even more intense. Two World City, send out the Heavenly Emperor assassins. The non-human divine ancestor ordered. Yes. Someone immediately spread the news. Outside the Two World City, the four-armed members of the evil god tribe disappeared in a flash. They mixed into the crowd of evil god tribe members and charged towards the heaven realm cultivators. The speed of these short and small evil god race members was too fast. They were natural assassins, and their cultivation was at the heavenly emperor realm. The moment they moved, the ancestral dragon noticed them immediately. Send out heavenly emperor powerhouses who are known for their speed to stop the evil god tribe's assassin clan. Zulong ordered. The news immediately spread to the battlefield. It's my turn, chirp chirp. Behind the Two World City were the celestial thearchs of the heaven realm, and Bubbles was among them. At that moment, Bubbles cried out excitedly, and in a flash, she charged out. The Bubbles' speed was extremely fast. The moment it charged out, it was already on the battlefield. Wherever she passed by, a terrifying space-time power would envelop the bodies of some of the evil god tribe members. The bodies of these evil god tribe members would immediately age and shrivel up before finally turning into skeletons, as if they had been deprived of their time. Whoosh! All of a sudden, saber light burst forth. A short, four-armed evil god clansman slashed the four sharp blades in his hands toward Bubbles with extreme speed. Experts of the same level would not be able to keep up with the speed of the evil god race. However, he ran into Bubbles. I've already discovered you, Chirpy. Bubbles pouted and dodged the opponent's attack with a flash. Then he suddenly appeared behind the opponent, and with a wave of his hand, he plucked off the opponent's head. Chapter 2542 Final Battle 2. After killing a heavenly emperor from the evil god tribes Abe Ssa. Sin tribe with ease, her body flickered and she appeared tens of thousands of miles away. She then pressed her hands forward. In the area in front of her, everything seemed to have stopped. The Heaven Realm and Evil God Tribe's experts who were in the middle of a battle were forbidden from not moving. At the same time, a figure suddenly appeared in the originally empty void. It was a four-armed Evil God Tribe member. At this moment, the face of the Evil God Tribe member was filled with shock and horror. He had been hiding in the void, trying to Abe Ssa. Sinate the Heaven Realm's powerhouses, but he had been forced out of the void by Bubbles. Moreover, his entire body had been confined by a powerful force, rendering him unable to move. Whoosh! As the bubble charged past, the Evil God Tribe member's body was turned into dust. Whoosh! 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 However, in the next moment, a series of sharp radiances shot out from all directions towards Pow Pow with frightening speed and power. Ill retreat. Even though Bubbles retreated rapidly, there was also a terrifying blade slashing towards her from behind. It was obvious that the other party had seen through Bubbles' threat and had sent a few experts to attack her in an attempt to get rid of her. Pfft. Bubbles' body was cut into two, then turned into dust and dissipated. Following that, a few short Evil God tribesmen appeared in the sky. Their expressions were grave as they looked around. Kacha! All of a sudden, cracks appeared in the SPAC around them. Then the SPAC started to twist and turn into a cage that trapped the short Evil God race members. Not good break. One of the Evil God race members howled as a few of them attacked together. In their hands, they were all holding curved blades that were astonishingly sharp. With a casual slash of their blades, they could easily slice apart SPAC. However, they were unable to cut through the SPAC that was created by Bubbles. Their weapons slashed at the surrounding SPAC, causing it to ripple like water, but it quickly returned to its original state. Time reversal, you're courting death. Pow Pow muttered softly as she waved her hands continuously. A mysterious aura enveloped the few members of the Evil God race. A shocking scene appeared. The auras of the Evil God Tribe members were rapidly weakening, and their appearances were also changing rapidly. At first, the few members of the Evil God Tribe looked middle-aged. However, they were now looking younger and younger. They started to look like young men, and then they looked like teenagers. At the same time, their cultivation was also declining. In the beginning, it was the Heavenly Emperor Realm, then the Great Emperor Realm, the True Emperor Realm, the Void Emperor Realm, and finally, it fell back to the Martial Sage Realm. This was an extremely terrifying Divink ability that could turn back time for the enemy and return them to when their cultivation base was still weak. To Bubbles, martial sages could be killed with a flip of her hand. Bubbles pressed down with her small hands, and a few Evil God Tribe members turned into ashes. Just like that, a few Heavenly Emperor stage Evil God race members were killed by Bubbles. After Bubbles reached the Heavenly Emperor stage, her abilities became more and more wondrous. Her combat strength grew stronger and stronger. No one of the same level as her was a match for her. At this moment, on the other side, Huangling, Long Chun, Huang Li and the others were in danger. They formed a formation and attacked the Evil God race continuously. Naturally, they attracted the attention of the other party. There were already some short Evil God race members who had their eyes on them. Chi Chi Chi. The terrifyingly sharp saber light suddenly slashed towards Huang Ling and the others with shocking power. Not good, it's a Heavenly Emperor Realm powerhouse. Their expressions changed drastically. Although they were all at the peak of the Great Emperor Realm, they were still far from the Heavenly Emperor Realm. They formed a large formation and worked together. A huge shield was formed and blocked above. Kacha! A sharp, car-piercing sound rang out as the blade light struck the shield. Cracks immediately appeared on the shield before it exploded. Go to HEBL. In SPAC, a short Evil God Tribe member appeared. His face was ferocious and filled with killing intent. The weapons in his forearms slashed towards Huang Ling and the others once again. Kill! Kill! Die! Huang Ling, Long Chun, and the others roared and attacked with all their might. They used their trump cards. However, they were still too far away from the Heavenly Emperor. Moreover, this short and small Evil God race member was not an ordinary one-star Heavenly Emperor, but a two-star Heavenly Emperor. Bang! 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 Explosions rang out continuously as the attacks of Huang Ling and the others were destroyed by the short evil god race. The incomparably sharp saber light continued to slash towards them, wanting to kill them. At this moment, the cry of a phoenix rang out. Huang Ling's entire body was bathed flames, and she seemed to have turned into an undying celestial phoenix. She soared up into the sky and pounced toward the evil god tribe's celestial thearch's attack. Not good. The expressions of Long Chun, Huang Ling, Lu Xiangxiang, and the others changed drastically. Pfft. Huang Ling was HIT. Her body flew over and turned back into human form. Her delicate body was almost cut in half, but there was a layer of mysterious aura on her body. Her body was quickly recovering. It was the indestructible ancient scroll. When Lu Ming first obtained the indestructible ancient scroll, it was a trace of the heaven's path mark left by the undying venerable emperor. When his cultivation was still weak, he could not inscribe it at all, and he could not pass it on to others. However, when Lu Ming came out of Netherworld Mountain, his cultivation level was high enough to inscribe it. Lu Ming inscribed the indestructible ancient scroll and sent bubbles to Dandan, Feng Ling, Long Chun, Lu Xiangxiang. As long they were on good terms with Lu Ming, he would pass on the indestructible ancient scroll to them just so that they could face this great battle. Everyone had cultivated the indestructible ancient scroll for hundreds of years, and they were already well versed in it. Furthermore, Huang Ling had consumed the fruit of life before. The medicinal effects of the fruit of life still remained in her blood. Although she was severely injured, she was not dead yet and was recovering rapidly. You're a great emperor, but you're still alive after being hit by me. Let's see how many moves you can take. The short evil god race member was stunned at first, but he revealed a ferocious killing intent and was about to attack Huang Ling and the others again. However, just as he was about to make a move, he realized that he could not move his body. No! Ai roared before his body exploded into ashes. A figure appeared behind him, and it was Bubbles. Bubble! Lu Xiangxiang and the others were overjoyed to see the Bubbles. Let's join forces, said Pow Pow. She then joined forces with Huang Ling, Lu Xiangxiang and the rest to fight the alien races. On the other side of the battlefield, the fighting was even more intense. This kind of short and small evil god race was simply too fast. They flickered within the army, and the Heaven Realm experts were constantly being killed. Fortunately, there were also Heavenly Emperor Realm Masters who were good at speed and AMSSA. Signation in the Heaven Realm. They arrived in time and killed each other. The helmsmen of both sides saw all of this. The evil god world, the non-human race's divine ancestor, and the various kings all saw Bubbles' performance. Another SP-Abe Sea-Time Spirit Mouse. In the battle that year, the SP-Abe Sea-Time Spirit Mouse caused great losses to our army. The number 1 king spoke, his voice icy cold. Fortunately, this SP-Abe Sea-Time Spirit Mouse hasn't reached its peak yet. It's not strong. Another king tier said. Chapter 2543 Final Battle 3. The non-human kings discussed. They clearly remembered how difficult it was to deal with the SP-Abe Sea-Time Spirit Rat in the ancient battle. The SP-A Sea-Time Spirit Rat back then was only a peak Heavenly Emperor, but ordinary peak Heavenly Emperors were no match for it at all. Even demigods would find it difficult to kill the SP-Abe Sea-Time Spirit Rat. The SP-Abe Sea-Time Spirit Rat's life-saving ability was too strong. They had to use a few demigods to kill the SP-Abe Sea-Time Spirit Rat. They heaved a sigh of relief when they realized that Bubbles' cultivation base had yet to reach its peak. SP-Abe Sea-Time Spirit Rats are one of the few races in the world that come from the outside world. They have a great origin and are very amazing. They haven't exerted their potential at all, or they would be even more terrifying. Send all the Heavenly Emperor-level powerhouses to the battlefield. I want this SP-Abe Sea-Time Spirit Rat alive, the non-human divine ancestor said. Yes. Someone received the order and spread the news. Immediately, be it the Returning Ruins battlefield or the Two-World City battlefield, the Heavenly Emperor powerhouses of the evil god tribe began to set off. Returning Ruins City and Two-World City, the evil god race sent out 5,000 celestial thearchs each. They flew towards the battlefield, and their auras were so strong that they shook the heavens and earth. Those were Heavenly Emperors. There were 5,000 Heavenly Emperors on each battlefield. What kind of concept was this? The evil god tribe had accu mulat for countless years before they had so many heavenly emperor existences. On the edge of the lair of Zulong, the evil god tribe's celestial arch has already appeared. Pa s down my order. Let the celestial arch fight. The ancestral dragon gave the order. The order was quickly said down, and suddenly, almost all the heavenly emperor powerhouses from the heaven realm went to battle. The sinkhole city was filled with divine beast powerhouses. One after another, terrifying and savage divine beasts stomped through the void and charged toward the evil god clan's celestial arch. The celestial emperors of both sides began an even more intense battle in the sky. On the heaven realm's side, the number of experts cultivating in the lair of Zulong was astonishing, especially the divine beasts. After all, the Zulong was a true dragon. Therefore, the strength of the divine beasts in the heaven realm was still stronger. However, with the addition of the prison realm, the human race's strength skyrocketed. Therefore, the battle in Two World City was fought by the human race and the prison realm. On the Two World City battlefield, all of the human race's celestial thearchs had also joined the battle. They were fighting fiercely with the evil god race's celestial arch in the sky above the battlefield. The battle was so intense that the heavens and earth cracked and the sun and moon dimmed. This was Abib el Obob dy ma. S. Saker. The battlefield seemed to have turned into a purgatory. This was a decisive battle that would determine the fate of one side. No one would be soft-hearted, and no one would hold back. Everyone only had one goal, and that was to kill their opponent. There were many familiar figures in the army of the Celestial Arch. Heavenly Emperor Hungyu, Heavenly Venerate 6 sages, Archean body cultivators, Thunder 1, Earth 1, and so on. Kill! A white-haired elder howled. He was covered in blood as he fought with a tall evil god. If Lu Ming was here, he would definitely recognize the elder. He was the patriarch of the Lan family, a 4-star heavenly emperor. However, the evil god race member that he was fighting against did not have a weak cultivation base. The two of them were bathed in blood as they fought, and they exchanged hundreds of moves. In the end, the Lan family's old ancestor crushed the head of the evil god race member with a single palm strike. However, before the evil god race member died, he also slashed out with his axe, splitting the Lan family's old ancestor into 2. Perishing together. Water 1. On the other side, Lei let out a furious roar. Water 1 had been killed. He had been blasted into pieces in the air by a royal member of the evil god tribe. A group of puppets die. The royal clan of the evil god tribe was extremely powerful and had the cultivation base of a 5-star heavenly emperor. Just as he was about to charge at Lei and the others, a sword light suddenly flashed, and the body of the royal member of the evil god tribe froze. Then, with a bang, he was split into several pieces and died on the spot. A middle-aged man with a cold expression appeared. Xian Luo. Lei recognized this person. If Lu Ming was here, he would definitely recognize that this person was the patriarch of Xian Feng, Xian Xiang, and the others. Obviously, his injuries had healed and he had the cultivation base of a peak heavenly emperor. Xian Luo's expression was cold as he charged forward. However, one of the peak heavenly emperors from the evil god race had his eyes on him, and the two of them started fighting. There were people dying continuously. Heavenly emperors and great emperors were usually powerful experts, but now they were worthless as they died in battle. The non-human divine ancestor and the ancestral dragon were all watching the battle closely. Senior, I'm afraid that the outsiders will not send the same number of troops to both the battlefield of the ruins of End and the battlefield of Two World City. I reckon that the other party will feign an attack on one of the battlefields while their real main force will attack one of the battlefields and then break them down one by one. A demigod suggested to the ancestral dragon. Yes, that's what I think too. I just don't know which battlefield they are targeting. Zulong nodded. Their faces were all very serious. This was because they knew that the main force of the evil god tribe had yet to make a move. Those demigods and a terrifying army from ancient times, the sky-breaking army. This army was said to be able to trample through the heavenly realm and was extremely terrifying. Furthermore, neither the non-human divine ancestor nor the sacred ancestor Bloodheart had made a move. This battle was very disadvantageous for them. The battle continued, and in the blink of an eye, it had been intense for half an hour. Evil God World, the 9 of you, attack the city of returning ruins together and lure out the demigods from the heaven realm. The non-human divine ancestor looked at the non-human kings. However, he looked at the current king tier. Other than the first king tier, there were 9 other people. Yes, the 9 kings accepted the order and tore through the void, hurrying to the battlefield of the ruins of End. The returning ruins battlefield, on the ground or in the air, were the battlefields below the celestial arch level. The true dragon, phoenix, Qilin, and the other powerful races had set up formations fight the giant beard race. The 2 sides were locked in battle. High up in the sky was the battlefield of the celestial emperors, Sela. Suddenly, ASPAC split open, and an extremely terrifying sword light slashed out toward the true dragon's battle formation. This true dragon battle formation was formed by at least 10,000 true dragons. They transformed into a huge true dragon and fought with a giant beard tribe being. At this moment, the sword light slashed down, causing the true dragon's expressions to change. Roar! 10,000 true dragons roared and formed a huge formation. They extended a huge dragon claw and grabbed at the sword light. Boom! With a terrifying explosion, the huge dragon claw was cut off. The hundreds of true dragons that had laid down this dragon claw were killed in an instant. The entire formation also crumbled, and tens of thousands of true dragons retreated, many of them spitting out blood. Sela! The SPAC cracked open, and a figure appeared. He held a sword in his hand and wore a crown on his head. He exuded a terrifying aura. Not good, it's the opponent's king. Many people's expressions changed drastically. Kill! This evil god king was extremely cold. With his sword in hand, he once again slashed out at the 10,000 true dragons. Your opponent is me. In the distance, a roar sounded, and a golden dragon claw suddenly appeared and grabbed at the non-human king. The non-human king's sword clashed with the golden dragon claw, causing the SPAC around it to explode. The next moment, a golden true dragon appeared in the air. It also gave off a terrifying aura that wasn't any weaker than a non-human king. Swipe left to continue. Chapter 2544 Demigod Battle, Golden Saint Dragon King. The non-human king said coldly. This golden true dragon was the king of the true dragon tribe, the Golden Saint Dragon King. He was a demigod and was the strongest existence in the true dragon tribe, second only to the ancestral dragon. He was even stronger than the 9 dragons back then. In the Divine Beast clan, the top 10 battle beasts were not the strongest. Some were comparable to the top 10 battle beasts, or even Serpa. Said them. For example, the Golden Sacred Dragon King, Heavenly Tiger the Arch, and so on. The reason why the top 10 beasts were so famous was because they were special. The top 10 battle beasts were almost all mutated. For example, there were 9 dragons and 9-headed golden lions. In the world, there was only one of them. Each of them had amazing talent, which was why they were so famous. You killed so many of my dragon tribe's tribesmen. I'll tear you to pieces. The Golden Holy Dragon King's eyes were cold. The Golden Holy Dragon King roared and pounced towards the non-human king, engaging in an intense battle. Golden Holy Dragon King, how many of us can you stop by yourself? A cold voice sounded. Not far away, the SPAC trembled and another non-human king appeared. His powerful aura pressed down on the Golden Holy Dragon King. Oh really? Do you think there's no one else in the heaven realm? A sharp voice rang out. The SPAC cracked open, and a huge phoenix covered in red flames flew out. Roar! With a roar, a giant tiger the size of a mountain appeared on the other side. It was filled with, and its aura was extremely terrifying. Old Phoenix King, Heavenly Tiger Emperor, you old guys are all here. A cold smile appeared on the non-human king's face. Good. They didn't die in the ancient battle. This time they're dead. A cold voice rang out. Next to the non-human king, many figures appeared. Fiendish aura, there were a total of 8 figures. Including the one who was fighting the Golden Holy Dragon King, there were a total of 9 people. Each of them was wearing a crown and had an earth-shattering aura. With the 9 non-human kings gathered, no one dared to approach within a radius of a few million miles, except for Supreme Emperor Sky Tiger and the Old Phoenix King. Those who were fighting and killing consciously stayed away from this area. These were all unrivaled experts. Once they made a move, the world would be turned upside down. Those who got close and were swept in would be crushed to pieces. I didn't expect all 9 of you to be here. Heavenly Tiger Emperor's expression was extremely serious. What? There are only 3 of you in the heaven realm. I'll finish you off today." One of the non-human kings was the most anxious and immediately charged towards the old Phoenix King. Following that, the other non-human king also made his move and fought with the Sky Tiger Supreme Emperor. However, there were still 6 other kings present. It seems that those guys from the heaven realm haven't come yet. Then I'll take care of these 3 castes first, and bring them back to drink with me. A tall non-human king, with his purple hair flying in the wind, charged out and attacked Heavenly Tiger Imperial Master with a terrifying move. He wanted to team up with the other non-human king to deal with Sky Tiger Emperor first. However, at this moment, a spear pierced through the air toward this non-human king. The non-human king's expression changed, and he could only change his move to block the spear. Boom! The void exploded and the long spear trembled. A burly man in battle armor stepped out of the dark void, his aura violent. 5 elements, your cultivation. The non-human king was shocked. The burly man in armor was the 5 elements Qilin, one of the top 10 battle beasts. Back then, he had only had the cultivation base of a peak heavenly emperor. However, he was now a demigod. Are you surprised? I'll slaughter you today. The 5 elements Qilin was extremely domineering. Slaughter me? Haha, so what if you're here? You'll still die. The non-human king laughed. Count me in. With a roar, a huge golden lion charged from the distance. Its 9 heads let out a long bowl, and its aura was terrifying. It was also a demigod. Haha, Ching Song, it seems like you've also broken through. With a loud laugh, a giant bull appeared, its aura violent. A middle-aged man was standing beside the giant bull. It was the 9 lives devilish silkworm. Their auras had all reached the demigod realm. How is that possible? How come all of you have reached the demigod realm? Damn it! A few non-human kings cried out in disbelief. First, it was the 5 elements Qilin, then the 9-headed golden lion, followed by the Ibtan longhorn and the 9 lives devilish silkworm. All of them were demigods. They were all peak heavenly emperors in the past. Although a peak heavenly emperor was only a step away from becoming a demigod, T was extremely difficult to cross the step. Demigods also had the word God in their names. With a wisp of divine fire, they had stepped into a completely different level, a higher level of life. The meaning behind it was completely different. There were many peak heavenly emperors in the world, but the number of demigods was extremely small. If it had only been a single breakthrough, it would still have made sense. However, the 5 elements Qilin, Qing Song, the Tan longhorn, and the 9 lives devilish silkworm had all broken through. This was shocking, no wonder the kings were so shocked. Weren't you very powerful in the past because of your high cultivation? Let's fight now. Kill! Qing Song roared as his 9 lion heads charged toward a non-human king. At the same time, the Tan longhorn beetle and the 9 lives devilish silkworm also attacked a non-human king of the 9 non-human kings. 7 of them had opponents. There were only 2 left. Let's attack first and kill them together. The eyes of the remaining 2 non-human kings glowed with a cold light. They were about to join forces to kill the 9 lives devilish silkworm and the others. At this moment, the void in the distance exploded. A huge mountain suddenly rushed out of the void. It was extremely huge and pressed down on one of the giant beard race beings. Although the giant beard tribe was extremely powerful, they still couldn't resist the mountain and were blasted into meat paste. Whoosh! Suddenly, a combat sword appeared above the head of another giant beard tribe cultivator and cut him in half. In the blink of an eye, 2 powerful giant beard tribe members had been killed. Who's there? Sneak attack from there. You're looking for death. The 2 kings were furious. The giant beard race was a powerful weapon of war. Each of them was extremely powerful, but they were few in number. Now that 2 of them had been killed, the non-human king's heart bled. Boom! Boom! The 2 of them attacked at the same time. They stretched out 2 big hands and blasted in the direction of the 2 weapons. The void there was directly shattered. Buzz! Buzz! The 2 weapons trembled and disappeared. In the next moment, a battle saber appeared above the head of another giant beard tribe member. With a slash, it killed the other giant beard tribe member. Damn it, you're looking for death. The 2 kings of the non-human race were furious. They rushed out and attacked together. The area was completely destroyed, and the SPAC was blown into pieces. Aya, you scared this lord to death. In the dark void, a 17 or 18-year-old youth wearing a Taoist robe was shouting and jumping around. dodging the attacks of the non-human kings. If it wasn't Dandan, who else could it be? 22-23. Chapter 2544 Experts, all out, divine turtle of the world. You're looking for death. The two non-human kings recognized Dandan's true form at a glance and charged toward her. Around Dandan were 5 to 6 weapons, all of which were Heaven Dao soldiers. At this moment, he pushed out with both hands, and 5 or 6 Heaven Dao soldiers flew towards the two non-human kings, clashing with them. The void kept exploding, and Dandan's weapon was sent flying back. You turtle, you're lucky you didn't die back then. How dare you run out? I'm going to roast you today. A non-human king said coldly. Fuck you. I couldn't beat you back then, but don't think that I can't beat you now. If I don't step on your faces today, I won't be called the world ghost god. Dandan was furious and her body transformed into a giant turtle. The turtle I was covered with strange patterns and looked ancient. A terrifying aura was emitted from Dandan's body. Demigod, how is this possible? You've also broken through. A non-human king shouted in disbelief. What was going on? The remaining top 10 battle wrists had all broken through to the demigod realm. How is this possible? Kill. I'm going to kill you. Dandan laughed loudly. His body was incomparably huge, but his speed was astonishing. His 2 turtle claws swatted down, and endless symbols filled the air, intertwining to form a terrifying attack. So what if I've broken through? I'll still die. The 2 kings of the non-human race revealed ferocious expressions and charged at Dandan at the same time. They wanted to kill her together. Boom. Boom. A terrifying explosion sounded out, and the void exploded. Dandan's huge body retreated, but the 2 non-human kings also retreated. They were evenly matched. The 2 non-human kings' expressions were extremely ugly, and they were also extremely shocked. Dandan's combat strength was so powerful that she could fight with both of them at the same time. In the demigod realm, there was usually not much difference in combat strength. They were almost on par. There were very few who could be stronger than others. Back then, the Chaos Tharch and the Undying Tharch were more powerful than ordinary demigods, but they still couldn't fight against 2 demigods. In the evil god tribe, only the king of the number 1 royal tribe had the battle prowess to fight against 2 demigods. However, Dandan also had such strength. How could they not be shocked? Haba, is this all you have? Again, Dandan laughed and charged at the 2 non-human kings. The 2 sides engaged in a fierce battle, and it was difficult to determine the winner. With this, the 9 non-human kings were all blocked. Haha, good. A burly man on the ancestral dragon's side laughed. The others beside the ancestral dragon also laughed. This was truly a pleasant surprise. They hadn't expected Ching Tsong, the 5 elements, the T-Ib Tan Longhorn Beetle, and the others to all become demigods. Originally, they were all going to go and stop the non-human king, but now they could temporarily bide their time and guard against other methods of the non-human race. This was very beneficial to them. Could this be the effect of the life fruit? Them said. That's right. This time, Lu Ming obtained many fruits of life. He'll share them with you guys and the 5 elements. Moreover, Lu Ming has some leftovers. He has given them to Tibai Tan, 9 lives, and the rest. Therefore, they relied on the energy of the fruit of life to break through the bottleneck. Zulong said, Lu Ming, it's all thanks to him this time. Another person sighed. The others all nodded. All these years, there were not many fruits of life left in Lu Ming's hands. He had almost given them away. However, everyone understood that the 9 lives devilish silkworm, Ching Tsong, and the others were able to break through because of their shocking talent. They had also ACCU mulat enough for many years. That was why they could break through in one go with the help of the life fruit. If it were any other peak heavenly emperor, they might not be able to break through even with the fruit of life. However, this was definitely a pleasant surprise for the heaven realm. On the other hand, the evil god tribe was the complete opposite. Beside the non-human divine ancestor, the king of the number 1 royal family, and the old kings all had dark expressions. How is this possible? How could the top 10 battle beasts have all broken through to demigod level? The number 1 king roared. He really couldn't figure it out. Not to mention him, even the non-human divine ancestor could not figure it out. Al had no idea that Lu Ming had obtained the inheritance of the Netherworld Island Master and a large number of life fruits. Therefore, his face was extremely gloomy now. Their plan had been disrupted. Their original plan was to use the 9 non-human kings to attack the ruins of End Battlefield and lure out the demigods from the Heaven Realm. After that, they could send these old kings to attack the Two-World City battlefield with all their might. They could break through the Two-World City in one fell swoop and charge into the Tai Ching Heaven region, razing it to the ground. But now this plan would not work. Have the sky-breaking army get ready. Also, all of you attack together and attack Two-World City. The non-human divine ancestor instructed. Yes. The number 1 king and the other old kings all nodded. Their eyes were filled with coldness as they tore through SPAC. The moment they moved, the ancestral dragon discovered them. Those old guys from the alien race are about to make their move. Next, it's up to you guys, Zhu Long said to the people beside him. Well, fight to the death. There were more than 10 people beside the ancestral dragon. They were experts that the Heaven Realm had accu mulat over countless years. Among them, there were not only those who cultivated the nomological system, but also those who cultivated the primordial martial arts, the primordial demonic path, and the primordial body cultivation path from the primordial era. And there were experts from the prison suppression field. All of them were demigods. They tore through SPAC and appeared on the battlefield of Two-World City in the next moment. Sila. Not far in front of them, the SPAC cracked open one after another, and more than a dozen figures appeared. It was the number 1 king and his group. The gazes of the two sides collided, creating brilliant sparks. It's you old fogies. Many of you were injured in the ancient battle. Do you think you can stop us? The number 1 king said coldly. Try it and you'll know. An old man in sackcloth from the heavenly realms said. You're bluffing. Let's try. Attack. The number 1 king Tyr directly charged towards the Heaven Realm's experts. The Heaven Realm's side also moved and charged towards the evil god race. Boom. Boom. An earth-shattering boom resounded as the two sides clashed, causing continuous explosions. The number 1 king was extremely powerful, and his battle prowess was far above the other demigods. However, he also had enemies. On the side of the Heaven Realm, there were also existences whose battle prowess was not weaker than his. Sovereign Rebellion, your origin was injured back then. How can you recover to your peak? The number 1 king roared. His opponent was a middle-aged man with a tall and straight posture. The middle-aged man was known as the Renegade Emperor. At his peak, he was even more powerful than the Chaos Emperor. However, during the ancient war, Venerable Sovereign Rebellion's origin was injured. He had been in seclusion for all these years. Logically speaking, his injuries should not have recovered so quickly. You old fogies were also injured back then, but didn't you recover? Venerable Sovereign Rebellion laughed coldly as he continued to clash with the number 1 king. 23. Chapter 2545 Frightening Heaven-Crushing Army, more than 10 demigods from the Heaven Realm fought an intense battle with the evil god race's old king and number 1 king. It was difficult to determine the victor. The evil god race's old king, the number 1 king, and the others were both shocked and furious. During the ancient battle, many people in the Heaven Realm had their life essence injured. For example, Venerable Sovereign Enil Wan's life essence was injured, and it was not easy to recover. Of course, some of the older kings of the evil god race had also been injured in the battle back then. Over the years, the evil god race had used up almost all of their top-notch natural treasures to allow these old kings of the evil god race to recover. However, the evil god tribe occupied the entire evil god world and the 8 heaven domains of the Heaven Realm. With such a vast territory, they would naturally have many treasures. However, in the Heaven Realm, there was only the Tai Ching Heaven region left. The natural treasures were very limited, but now, these half-gods in the Heaven Realm were actually all at their peak. They really couldn't figure it out. They were both shocked and furious. This time, many things had already exceeded their expectations. For example, the world god turtle, the T-Ib Tan Longhorn beetle, and the 9 lives devilish silkworm, who were among the top 10 battle beasts, had become demigods. There were also the old demigods in the Heaven Realm who had recovered to their peak state. All of these were things that they had not expected. If they knew that this was caused by the life fruit that Lu Ming brought out from the Netherworld Island, be wondered what kind of expressions they would have. In the evil god world, the non-human divine ancestor's expression was also very ugly. He looked into the distance, as if he could see through the endless void. The ancestral dragon also looked at the evil god race, as if he was looking at the non-human race's divine ancestor. Both of their eyes shone with a bright light. Ancestral dragon, do you think you can win? This time, the heaven realm is destined to be destroyed. All your efforts will be in vain. The non-human divine ancestor said coldly. His voice actually directly penetrated the endless void, from the evil god realm to the heaven realm, and into the ears of the ancestral dragon. This kind of skill was simply inconceivable. Oh, really? Don't you know that those who commit injustice are doomed to destruction? And NBSB Zulong also spoke, and his voice spread to the evil god world. Ha ha ha, ancestral dragon, you've lived for such a long time, and you still believe in such nonsense. Ridiculous, ridiculous. The non-human divine ancestor sneered. He faced the ancestral dragon from afar and controlled everything on the battlefield. On the battlefield of the ruins of End and the battlefield of Two World City, the fighting was extremely fierce. The two sides could be said to have turned out in full strength, and it was difficult to determine the winner in a short time. This battle lasted for a full 7 days. Countless powerhouses from both sides had already fallen on this battlefield. Countless emperors-to-be, illusionary emperors, true emperors, and great emperors were killed or injured. Even many of the heavenly emperor realm cultivators had died in battle. On the battlefield of Two World City, Huangling, Long Chun, and the others were covered in blood. Wounds appeared on their bodies, and they looked terrifying. They had fought for 7 days, but they were still alive. It was all thanks to their cultivation of the indestructible ancient scroll and the consumption of the life fruit that they were able to hold on. Otherwise, they would have died. Kill, kill. They roared and continued to kill their way toward the evil god race with bloodshot eyes. Over the past few days, they had seen countless heaven realm experts die in battle. Some of them were people they knew, but now they would forever remain this land. Now the only way to resolve this crisis was to kill them all. It's almost time, the non-human divine ancestor murmured. He then waved his hand, and a voice transmission jade talisman flew out. Not long after, a terrifying army set out, heading towards the battlefield of Two World City. The evil god tribe's heaven-crushing army had finally moved out. The ancestral dragon, who was far away in the heaven realm, also sensed it. I hope it can be blocked. The ancestral dragon muttered, and then sent out another piece of news. On the battlefield of Two World City, everyone was fighting. Suddenly, a deafening roar came from the distance, and then everyone saw a dark cloud charging toward them. Another army of 100,000 soldiers appeared. Although it was nothing compared to the tens of millions of soldiers on the battlefield, it was still a huge army. However, the aura it emitted was terrifying and made everyone tremble in fear. Kill! Kill! The sky-breaking army roared as 100,000-strong army surged towards the battlefield like a flood. Their cold, killing intent made it hard for anyone to breathe. It's the sky-breaking army. Let's move. The members of the evil god race recognized this legendary army and immediately stepped aside, making way for the heaven-crushing army. The sky-breaking army directly charged at the heavenly realm army. Whoosh! Whoosh! 100,000 attacks burst out from the sky-breaking army and rushed toward the heaven realm army. Suddenly, the heaven realm army was killed one by one, and tens of thousands of people died in an instant. What's going on? It's so terrifying, the army of the heaven realm was shocked. Kill! The sky-breaking army was too strong. Wherever they said, they destroyed everything as casually as breaking dry weeds and smashing rotten wood, causing countless deaths and injuries. Damn it! The evil god tribe actually has such an army. In the sky, many heavenly emperors were shocked. Some of the heavenly emperors attacked the sky-breaking army, but some of the sky-breaking army's people attacked the heavenly emperors, killing them. Terrifying, it was truly terrifying. Even a heavenly emperor was killed in an instant. You actually want to attack the sky-breaking army? You're overestimating yourself. Some of the evil god race's celestial thearchs sneered. The heaven-crushing army was the most terrifying army in the evil god tribe's ancient legends. There were only 100,000 people in the army, but they were all experts above the great emperor realm. Among them, there were 5,000 who were above the heavenly emperor realm. 95,000 great sovereigns and 5,000 celestial emperors. What a powerful force this was. It's the sky-breaking army. Damn it! The expressions of the demigods from the heaven realm changed drastically. Set up the formation. At this moment, The commander of the sky-breaking army gave the order. Immediately, the 100,000 soldiers of the heaven-breaking army began to form a large array. Some of them flew into the sky, while others landed on the ground. They were arranged in a strange formation, and their auras intersected with each other. Their powers fused together, and an incomparably huge giant appeared between the heavens and the earth. The giant was so huge that it was several times bigger than the giant beard tribe. Some of the 100,000 soldiers of the heaven-crushing army were at the head of the giant, while others were at the limbs. The power of the heaven-crushing army was gathered to form this giant. Boom! This giant stepped out, covering the sky and the sun, and stomped towards the heavenly realm army. Not good. Long Chun, Feng Ling, and the others were within the range of the giant's foot. The pressure was too terrifying and irresistible. Once the giant stepped on them, they would be turned into ashes. Are we going to die here? Long Chun, Feng Ling, and the others could not help but have this thought. However, at this moment, transparent bubbles suddenly appeared on their bodies and enveloped them. Then their bodies trembled and they disappeared. Boom! The giant foot stomped down, and thousands of heaven realm powerhouses turned into ashes. 100,000 miles away, Long Chun and the others appeared, their faces pale. Chapter 2547 Ancestral Dragon Battles. Mok Yuang Ling, Long Chun, and the others looked at the heaven realm expert, who was stomped to death in the distance, and their faces turned pale. If they were there, they would probably die as well. Bubble, you've saved us again. They looked at a little girl, Bubbles. Earlier on, it was Bubbles who had saved them and moved them out of the area. That's amazing. I was almost blocked by that force and couldn't save you. Bubbles' face revealed a look of fear. Boom. After the giant stomped down, he punched out. This punch was not aimed at the ground, but at the sky, at the heaven realm powerhouses who were fighting. The giant fist crushed over, causing the void to explode continuously. The scene was extremely terrifying. Block it! There were at least 100 celestial emperors who attacked together and launched their most powerful attacks at the fist. Boom! 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 A series of explosions rang out continuously. However, the attacks of the heavenly emperors were completely useless. They were shattered by a single punch like fireworks. The heavenly emperors retreated frantically, and dozens of them even exploded and died on the spot. Terrifying, it was too terrifying. Damn it! The demigods of the heaven realm were furious. They wanted to get out and block the heaven-crushing army, but the demigods of the evil god race held them back. Finally, two half-gods used all their strength to shake off their opponents and charge toward the sky-breaking army. Kill! The two demigods attacked with all their might and made two moves. A long spear pierced through the sky and charged toward the giant formed by the sky-breaking army. In addition, there was also a battle blade that illuminated the sky and split the heaven and earth in half. A demigod's attack was heaven-shaking. Boom. Boom. The giant was very direct. He threw two punches at the attacks of the two demigods. There was a terrifying explosion between heaven and earth. The spear and the saber shook violently and then were sent flying. The two heaven demigods also retreated. Their faces were pale and blood seeped out of the corners of their mouths. Strong, he was too strong. The heaven-breaking army's battle formation was unbelievably powerful. Two demigods working together were forced back in one strike and were heavily injured. With just the two of you, you want to contend against the sky-breaking army? You overestimate your abilities. One of the evil god race's demigods laughed coldly. His body flashed as he blocked the heaven realm's demigod. They knew very well that the sky-breaking army also had demigods. Demigod, Peak Heavenly Emperor, 6-star, Heavenly Emperor, 5-star Heavenly Emperor. There were experts of all levels, and they formed a large formation. They were simply too powerful, and one or two demigods couldn't contend with them. However, they wouldn't let all the demigods the heaven realm stop the heaven-breaking army. Boom. The giant was about to continue hunting the strong pract. Tigtioniers of the heaven realm. At this moment, more than a dozen white-haired old men appeared in the distance. They quickly approached the sky-breaking army. Suppress, kill. More than a dozen white-haired old men shouted in unison, releasing extremely powerful auras. The weakest of the elders was a Peak Heavenly Emperor, and there was even a demigod among them. They were all elders of the prison suppression field. Then their bodies glowed, and 9 stone tablets flew out from their bodies. The prison guarding steel. There were 9 prison-suppressing steels, 1 main steel, and site auxiliary steels. As soon as the 9 prison-suppressing steels flew out, they grew larger than mountains. The 9 prison-suppressing steels formed the prison-suppressing formation and pressed down on the giant of the sky-breaking army. The giant also threw a punch at the prison-guarding steel. Boom! With a terrifying boom, the prison-suppressing steel trembled and flew back. However, the giant formed by the sky-breaking army also trembled and retreated. It was blocked. The prison-guarding steel blocked the giant, and the 2 sides were evenly matched. The Heaven Realm army was extremely excited, and their morale increased greatly. The prison-suppressing steel, damn it! The evil god race's old king, the number 1 king, and the others were also furious. The 9 intact prison-suppressing steels exploded with shocking power and blocked the sky-breaking army. Roar! The giant let out a roar and stomped on the ground, punching out with both fists. Suppress! More than a dozen elders of the prison suppression field controlled the prison suppression monument together and continued to suppress the sky-breaking army. The 2 sides continued to clash and boom. The entire area was shaking. Both sides were in a state of anxiety, and it was difficult to determine the victor. Moke, let's see what other tricks you have up your sleeve now. The ancestral dragon's voice reached the non-human divine ancestor's ears. The non-human divine ancestor's face turned ugly, and a cold light flashed. Ancestral dragon, have you forgotten your killing intent? Even if the others are blocked, so what? Once your killing intent is out, all your efforts will be in vain. The non-human divine ancestor sneered. The ancestral dragon's face turned solemn. What he was most worried about was sacred ancestor Bloodheart. Saint Ancestor Bloodheart hadn't appeared yet. He was probably taking the time to heal. Once he recovered, who could stop him? His only hope was on Lu Ming. He hoped that Lu Ming could break through quickly. Ancestral dragon, why aren't you attacking? The non-human divine ancestor suddenly said. Zulong's eyes moved, but he didn't say anything. You're just trying to stall for time. You want to wait for Lu Ming to break through, right? If not, you'll definitely fight me to the death. Only by killing me or injuring me will you have a chance to stop your killing intent. However, you're not making a move yet. Hee. The non-human divine ancestor sneered, seeing through the ancestral dragon's thoughts. The ancestral dragon didn't say a word. He knew that with the intelligence of the non-human divine ancestor, he wouldn't be able to hide anything. However, Lu Ming cultivates the path of domination. It's not that easy to break through in a place like the Heaven Realm. Even so, I won't give you a chance. Despair, ancestral dragon. The non-human divine ancestor said coldly. With that, he disappeared into the void and headed straight for the Heaven Realm. Roar! The ancestral dragon let out a dragon roar and instantly transformed into his true form. He turned into a huge truck dragon and tore through the void, charging toward the non-human divine ancestor. Boom! The 2 of them clashed in the eternal dark void, causing terrifying shockwaves to erupt. Fortunately, the 2 of them collided in the dark void. If they were outside, it would really be destructive. Kill! The ancestral dragon roared and used all his power. Ili's huge body twisted, and he charged at the non-human divine ancestor with shocking speed. The non-human divine ancestor was tall and stu-barbed dysprosium. His golden hair flew in the wind, and his 3 sides opened and closed. He wasn't weak at all as he fought the ancestral dragon. In ancient times, they had engaged in a life-and-death battle. That battle was extremely brutal, and both of them had injured their life essence. Therefore, they knew each other's means like the back of their hands, and it was difficult to determine the winner in a short time. Ancestral dragon, you can't stop me. You've sealed the sky for countless years, but it's all for nothing. All of you will die. The non-human divine ancestor let out a long roar and exchanged hundreds of moves with the ancestral dragon in an instant. Zulong didn't say a word and attacked with all his strength. 23. Chapter 2548 Killing in 10 arrives, killing heart. If you don't attack now, when will you? The voice of the non-human divine ancestor was transmitted back to the evil god world. Boom. A terrifying aura suddenly burst out of the evil god world's holy mountain, and a blood-red light pillar shot into the sky. Then, a figure appeared in the blood-red light pillar. It was a skinny old man dressed in blood-red clothes. His blood-red hair flew in the wind, and his entire body was filled with a terrifying killing intent. This killing intent seemed to want to kill all the living beings in the world. Kill, 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 kill all the living beings in the heaven realm. A bone-chilling voice came out of the old man's mouth. Killing intent. Zulong's face was ugly. With his cultivation, he could tell at a glance that, although the sacred ancestor Bloodheart had not recovered to her peak, she had already entered the martial god realm and had the battle strength of a martial god. Now that the evil god tribe had an additional martial god, who could stop them. Demigods seemed to be only one step away from the martial god realm, but their combat strength was worlds apart. Even if 10 or 20 half-gods joined forces, they would still not be a match for a martial god. Buzzwoo. Sacred ancestor Bloodheart tore the void apart and appeared on the battlefield of Two World City in the next moment. The aura from his body spread out in all directions, pressing down on everyone's hearts. It's Saint Ancestor Bloodheart. Everyone from the evil god tribe was ecstatic. On the contrary, on the side of the heaven realm, everyone's face changed dramatically. Even though many people had never heard of the sacred ancestor Bloodheart, the aura she emitted was too terrifying and simply irresistible. He was much more terrifying than a demigod. Damn it! Saint Ancestor Bloodheart has recovered. The faces of Venerable Sovereign Renegade and the others changed drastically as they cried out in alarm. Haha, you're finished. Saint Ancestor Bloodheart has recovered, and the heaven realm will be destroyed. Let's see how you guys are going to block it. The old kings of the evil god race all laughed. Kill, kill! Saint Ancestor Bloodheart shouted. His killing intent exploded and swept in all directions like a shockwave. Pft, pft. In the heaven realm, many experts directly spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Some people directly fell down after spitting out a mouthful of blood, without a trace of breath. Kill, kill, kill! Some of them had gone crazy. They roared madly, and their eyes turned red as they charged at their comrades beside them. However, the people of the evil god tribe were completely fine. The sacred ancestor Bloodheart had only let out a roar and hadn't even attacked yet, but the heaven realm had already suffered great losses. Many people's morale was low, and they revealed terrified expressions. Some even began to retreat. After killing a large number of heaven-realm beings, sacred ancestor Bloodheart took a deep breath. Endless blood chi was sucked into his mouth, and his killing intent became even stronger. He looked around with his blood-red eyes, and then his eyes fell on the prison-suppressing steel. Prison-guarding old ghost, this time, I'm going to completely destroy the prison-guarding steel you left behind. Your descendants will all die and become my nourishment. A cold, ear-piercing voice rang out. Back then, Saint Ancestor Bloodheart and prison-guarding patriarch had fought and died together. However, the sacred ancestor Bloodheart had seized the last opportunity and sent wisp of her bloodline into a human's body. She had hidden it and planned to awaken it again one day. However, the prison-guarding patriarch had seen through his intention. He let the soul of the prison-guarding steel into the human's body and hid. It was not difficult to know that the human was Lu Ming's ancestor, an ancestor from ancient times. After a long period of time, the bloodlines of the prison-suppressing steel and the bloodline of the Saint Ancestor Bloodheart had both awakened in Lu Ming's body. However, the prison-suppressing steel still suppressed him, preventing him from devouring Lu Ming and replacing him. Therefore, the person whom sacred ancestor Bloodheart hated the most was prison-guarding patriarch. One could imagine how he felt when he saw the prison-suppressing steel. Kill! Holy ancestor murderer rushed toward the prison-suppressing steel. His hand turned into a giant palm and slapped toward the prison-suppressing steel. Boom! The 9 prison-suppressing steels shook violently and were thrown back. The elders of the prison-suppressing field trembled and were pushed back, spitting out blood. Although Saint Ancestor Bloodheart hadn't fully recovered, he had regained the strength of a martial god, and his combat power was even higher than the giant of the sky-breaking army. He had injured more than a dozen elders of the prison suppression field with one move. After the first attack, Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart launched another attack. At the same time, the giant formed by the sky-breaking army also made a move. Together with the Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart, they were going to completely destroy the prison-suppressing steel. Get ready! An elder from the prison suppression field spoke. I was a half-god. Of course, there was more than one demigod from the prison realm. However, a few of them were fighting against the old king of the evil god race with the demigods from the heaven realm. All right. The other elders of the prison suppression field were all determined. Boom. Boom. All of a sudden, the auras of the elders from the prison suppression field became stronger. A blood-red light spread out from their bodies as if they were burning. Then, a dozen elders of the prison-suppressing field turned into a dozen blood lights and flew into the prison-suppressing steel. The prison-guarding steels shook violently and shone brightly. In the end, the 9 pieces of prison-guarding steels merged into one, but it was 10 times larger than before. Elder. On the battlefield, many people from the prison suppression field couldn't help but cry out when they saw this. They knew that these elders were burning their own blood essence to activate the prison-suppressing steel and unleash its full power. And they themselves had completely fallen. Boom. At this moment, the giant of the sky-breaking army punched the prison-suppressing steel, but he was forced back by a powerful force. At the same time, a figure appeared on the prison-suppressing steel. It was the appearance of an old man with a sage-like demeanor and a majestic aura. "The ancestor, it's the ancestor!" Someone from the prison suppression field exclaimed. Many people from the prison suppression field had seen the portrait of the prison suppression patriarch. This old man looked exactly like him. "Hee, prison-guarding old man, you're just an immortal mark on the prison-guarding steel. Today, it'll completely destroy you." Saint Ancestor Bloodheart sneered. He stepped forward and attacked the prison-suppressing steel. On the prison-suppressing steel, the prison-suppressing patriarch stepped out and charged towards Saint Ancestor Bloodheart. The two of them collided fiercely, causing a deafening boom. At the same time, the prison-suppressing steel flew towards the sky-breaking army and suppressed them. For a time, the sky-breaking army and Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart had been stopped, which greatly boosted the morale of the Heaven Realm's side. You think you can stop me with just a wisp of the mark? What a joke!" Saint Ancestor Bloodheart sneered. A blood-red bead appeared in his hand, emitting a strong BLOODY chi, and he threw it at Prison Suppression Patriarch. In the blink of an eye, the two had exchanged dozens of moves. The prison-guarding Patriarch was just a mark, and the prison-guarding steel had to deal with the sky-breaking army. He was no match for it. After dozens of moves, he was completely suppressed by Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart. If this continued, he would be defeated and killed sooner or later. Chapter 2548 Xian Yanking's strength in the blink of an eye. Another dozen moves had been exchanged. Bang! Prison-guarding Patriarch's imprint. Couldn't beat it, and he was sent flying by Saint Ancestor Bloodheart. His body turned illusory, as if he would fall apart at any moment. Not good. The Heaven Realm beings who witnessed all of this had extremely ugly expressions, and they revealed looks of despair. Could it be that no one could stop the Sacred Ancestor Murderheart? Was the Heaven Realm destined to be defeated and destroyed? They were unwilling, but their strength was limited. Prison-guarding Old Ghost completely disappear. Saint Ancestor Bloodheart roared, and his aura grew stronger as he kept attacking Prison Suppression Patriarch. Bang! The prison-guarding Patriarch was hit again. His body almost fell apart, and his breath was weak. The prison-guarding Patriarch had no choice but to summon the prison-guarding steel to resist Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart. However, this way, the sky-breaking army would have no opponents. Roar! The giant of the sky-breaking army roared and charged at the prison suppression Patriarch. The seal of the prison-guarding Patriarch and the prison-guarding steel combined to resist the giant formed by Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart and the sky-breaking army, but he was still not their match. He was completely suppressed. Boom! Boom! The prison-suppressing steel was constantly sent flying and shaking. Kacha! A voice came from the prison-suppressing steel, which shocked everyone. The prison-suppressing steel could not hold on any longer. A crack appeared on it. Break! Break! It'll completely break you. Saint Ancestor Bloodheart sneered. Everyone in the Heaven Realm had a heavy heart. Lu Ming, the Ancestral Dragon, sighed. Lu Ming had not broken through successfully. Ancestral Dragon, your defeat is certain. The non-human Divine Ancestor sneered. Lu Ming was still sitting cross-legged on the peak of the Dragon Sovereign Peak. The aura on his body was fluctuating as he focused on cultivation. Suddenly, a shadow flashed in the sky and a figure appeared. It was Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming, I hope you can make it in time. I will buy you some time. Xian Yanqing muttered, then turned around and disappeared. On the battlefield of Two World City, Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart and the sky-breaking army worked together. The prison-suppressing steel was I'd a few more times, and more cracks appeared on it. The prison-suppressing steel had been damaged and was weaker. It couldn't withstand the attacks of sacred ancestor Bloodheart and the sky-breaking army. Shatter, shatter for me. Prison-guarding old man, I will make the only evidence that you have left in this world disappear. Saint Ancestor Bloodheart laughed. His body was covered in blood-red light, which turned into blood-red sword light and kept slashing at the prison-suppressing steel. At the same time, he controlled the blood bead to burst out with rays of blood light with amazing power. However, at this moment, endless black light suddenly appeared above her head and turned into a huge black lotus, which pressed down on her. You want to attack me? You're looking for death. Dick! Saint Ancestor Bloodheart shouted. He waved his hand, and a blood-red sword light shot out, hitting the black lotus. Boom! With a violent boom, the black lotus was sent. Eiling, but it didn't collapse as Saint Ancestor Bloodheart had expected. The black lotus flew backward, and in the next moment, a figure appeared on the lotus. It was a young woman in a long black dress. She was unparalleled and beautiful. He blocked it. He actually blocked Saint Ancestor Bloodheart's attack. Many people were shocked. The sacred ancestor Bloodheart was a martial god. Even a casual strike from him was not something ordinary people could block. Even demigods would find it difficult to block. However, sacred ancestor Bloodheart's attack had been blocked. What? Saint Ancestor Bloodheart was also taken aback. A cold light flashed in her eyes, and her blood chi condensed into a shocking blood sword that slashed toward the black lotus. Scatter! With a crisp sound, the black lotus flower suddenly spread out into black petals. Each petal turned into a beam of sword chi, which kept attacking Saint Ancestor Bloodheart's blood sword. Buzz! And NBSB whoosh. It was as if divine swords were colliding with each other, and the sound of swords clashing resounded through the earth. Although the black sword chi kept shattering, the blood-red sword light from Saint Ancestor Bloodheart's attack weakened a little after each black sword chi was shattered. When the last black sword chi collapsed, sacred ancestor Bloodheart's blood-red sword light was less than 10% of its original power, and it was easily blocked by the woman. I blocked it again. This time, the Saint Ancestor Bloodheart is serious. Many people were shocked. Who is this woman? She was so powerful that she could block Saint Ancestor Bloodheart's attack. I know. It's Zik Nianqing, Lu Ming's wife, Xian Nianqing. What? Lu Ming's wife is so powerful. Countless people were deeply shocked. Many people were aware of Lu Ming's combat strength. He was able to fight against 2 demigods of the non-human race. He was unparalleled and brilliant. However, his wife was even more terrifying now. She could actually fight with the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. This was too shocking. How is that possible? She's only a demigod. How could she have blocked sacred ancestor Bloodheart's attack? The number 1 king and the other old kings were all stunned. They could tell that Xian Nianqing was a demigod, but his combat power was far above theirs. That's right, Xian Yanging's cultivation had reached the demigod realm. He had been on and out of the Yellow Springs Island for almost 200 years. With the help of the life fruit, Xian Nianqing had reached the demigod realm. Moreover, Xian Nianqing's combat strength was far beyond ordinary people. Back then, when Xian Nianqing was a 5-star heavenly emperor, he could already suppress a peak heavenly emperor. Now that he had become a demigod, his combat strength naturally far exceeded other demigods. They weren't the only ones who were shocked. The non-human divine ancestor and ancestral dragon were equally shocked. She's actually this strong. On the battlefield, Huang Ling and Qiu Yu looked to the magnificent Zik Nianqing and sighed. Ah, kill, kill, kill. Zik Nianqing had blocked 2 of Saint Ancestor Bloodheart's moves in a row, which further stimulated his killing intent and ruthlessness. Ai roared madly and charged towards Xian Nianqing, completely ignoring the prison-suppressing steel. The prison-suppressing steel and the giant of the heaven-breaking army were engaged in a fierce battle. Bang! Bang! Xian Nianqing exchanged a few more blows with sacred ancestor Bloodheart. Although Xian Yanging was at a disadvantage and was forced to retreat, he still managed to block sacred ancestor Bloodheart's attack. Many people exclaimed in admiration. They knew that Xian Nianqing's battle power was truly shocking. He had already said the other demigods. Although he wasn't a match for sacred ancestor Bloodheart yet, he could already fight her. Any other demigod would have been instantly killed by sacred ancestor Bloodheart. Dick! Saint Ancestor Bloodheart went even crazier. He threw the blood-red bead in his hand. This blood-red bead was a weapon that Serpa said the Heaven Dao soldiers. It was controlled by sacred ancestor Bloodheart, and its power was terrifying. Break! Xian Yanqing shouted as she formed a seal with her fingers. Countless black lotus flowers appeared around her. These black lotus flowers turned into sword lights and slashed at Saint Ancestor Bloodcart. 23. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.